Welcome everybody to another Saturday Film Club. Don't worry, Jay will be here. If you're all here just for Jay, he's just running a little bit late. So it's just myself and Sandy Q. How are you? And this is your fantasy pick we're doing today, and it's Highlander, everyone.
This was my pick. I'm doing really well, and we're going to have two of my fantasy picks in a row, which is a lot of homework.
Yes.
It's a lot of homework.
We're going to have to, there might be a schedule change because we said about that, didn't we? So for everybody who saw the film club last week, we got Sandy's Lord of the Rings trilogy. She wanted the trilogy. How far are you in the books?
Because there can be only one story in the Lord of the Ring. I'm finished the Fellowship. So I just finished the Fellowship of the Ring. That's the shorter one, audiobooks. But the Andy Serkis audio, I, of course, would much rather sit down and read my books, but there's no time. And the audiobooks with Andy Serkis doing the voice recording, they're fantastic. He is just as amazing a voice artist as he is a motion cap artist. So
I got the old on CDs down there somewhere, the old ones like that. But like I can't even remember who did the old voiceover on that. But I've got those.
Is it the one based on the BBC radio play or something?
I'm not too sure.
Because
it was like all it had was like, it was like a big little case, of course, and it just had an orange dragon on it. And I was like,
oh, okay.
That was it. So yeah.
Because I think there was a BBC radio play, and it had some of the actors coincidentally, but they were all playing different parts because it was made so many years before the Peter Jackson film. So, but this is Highlander, and this is, hey, Abe. Yes. Yes, Abe. Let's go. So this is my pick. This is Highlander. This is one of those films / television shows that turned me into the geek that I am today. It was
I found this quite interesting because anybody didn't see one of the things. It's from the TV series you found 1986, correct. Not the other way around. What was very, I was like, weird way to go, because that's the 90s, isn't it? That's like
I think it was the like early 90s. So I had definitely not seen it in the theaters. It either wouldn't have been my thing or my parents' thing, because I was a kid, but the television show would come on, and I know people pan it, but I was a kid and it was fun. It was on a Saturday afternoon, like in between, like you'd come home from playing all your sports on a Saturday and then chill out for a few hours before doing something fun in the evening. And that's when that was on, like 3:00 on a Saturday. And I just liked the stories, and he traveled through time, and I like history. So it was one of those kind of like, now I've never seen Outlander, but I think it's the vibe of that. But and then I did finally see the film, and then I, as soon as I saw the film, then I bought the DVD of the film, and I love the lore. This is one of the films that I just love the story and the lore. So that's what drew me in to the film. And there was another detour, though. I accidentally saw the second film before I saw the first film because it was on television.
Galadorn watched it, but I didn't hate it as anyone else does.
So I saw The Quickening on TV, and then and then I wanted to see the original film, and then I was like, okay, that's a reset. That's good, because I didn't like The Quickening, but I liked the original film.
Now, before we go on to the original, I suppose I did actually, just for science, I suppose your best quote is to watch The Quickening, And if it was, I feel I said if it was a standalone and you didn't have anything else before it, it's enjoyable.
Correct.
It just destroys this movie. And we'll get into the
That's
movie
what
like
the
that.
problem is, the
Yeah,
story. You're right.
yeah,
If it was standalone, it would
yeah.
be a
Just like
throwaway film. Yeah, it would
yeah,
be okay, but it yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. With the background, what's already been established, it's like it. It seems like it's a Disney project now. What Disney would do with all their IPs.
yep,
That's it.
for
But yeah,
sure.
anyway, welcome Highlander. A bit late for your
Hello,
own film
Highlander.
club.
Welcome to Highlander.
Yeah, yeah. Highlander better like this movie because I'd be really pissed off if your name's Highlander and you don't like Highlander. But I've also, just for everything, I've got and I think it's relevant to the movie. It's the simple question, and we're gonna have a probably discussion about this afterwards. My little poll I've got a very simple question this week. It's would you want to live forever? Yes or no? Like,
Mhm.
especially with this, because I think there's ooh and la. We had after we watched it last night, mine for the umpteenth time. We had that discussion, so that was good.
Yeah.
We need to have that discussion. It's like, oh, so
I
yeah,
think you do, and I think it's the story of Highlander is the story of Doctor Who,
mm,
and, there are some other great characters throughout sci-fi and fantasy that are both blessed and cursed to be immortal,
mm,
and the good stories show both sides of it. The good short stories show the pain and, I guess, the benefits of being immortal or
yes.
unkillable.
Mm. So, but do you want to bring the
Shall
numbers
we
up
look
with
at
the
the
great?
notes?
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, we're gonna do it. It's a bit backwards because we're gonna wait till Jay until we get things. But we're gonna. I can't remember like director. I was like, that name just every time just
Yeah, Russell Mulcahy. So,
wet.
uh,
Didn't do anything else. Really?
I don't know.
I don't.
Actually, I found his name somewhere else. Oh, he
Okay.
did he did direct the music videos that ultimately
Okay.
so that's where I saw his name. I was like, I saw him directing something else.
Ah.
Queen music videos. So this is not based on a book, but based on a story by Gary Wyden, Peter Bellwood, and Larry Ferguson, directed by Russell Mulcahy, starring Christopher Lambert, Sean Connery, Clancy Brown, Roxanne Hart are kind of the main characters.
mm,
I also pulled up John Polito and James Cosmo because they've appeared in other film club films. So John Polito
yes.
appeared in Miller's Crossing. And also, I think I had commented that he was in the television series Homicide: Life on the
Mm,
Street, which is just exceptional. And then James Cosmo, we just talked about him a few weeks ago in Trainspotting because he plays Renton's father.
mm.
But he's also in everything. This guy he's in Game of Thrones. He's
Yeah, it's
kind of
one
in the
on the wall, isn't he?
yeah, he's kind of in
Yeah.
the background of a whole bunch of films. It was filmed in Scotland, obviously, New York and New Jersey, and there's a little among a number of inconsistencies in the film, there's a line in the film referencing the first scene, which is in Madison Square Garden, the wrestling scene,
Yeah.
which was filmed in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. And later in the film, they say, so, did you see some 7-foot guy doing whatever in New Jersey? It wasn't. It was supposed to be Madison Square Garden in New
Oh, I
York.
never saw it. Oh.
They filmed it in New Jersey, and somehow no one caught that in the script.
Ah.
They said the later said it was New Jersey. So anyway, now this whole Henry Cavill thing, that could be an entire other show that we could do on what ifs. It has not started yet, so it is still pre-production. So we know what that means.
I thought they've just started filming.
According
I thought I had,
according to IMDb, it is still not.
Okay.
They haven't rolled film yet, technically.
Okay. And Russell Crowe as well.
And
so we know who Henry Cavill's got to be the Highlander, but I'm guessing Russell Crowe could be
the Spanish, Scottish, Egyptian, Australian.
Or the Kurgan.
What do you do?
No, I think this could work. I think they could work if it was 2 or 3 movies. I think if they're just going to rip it off, I don't think that work. I think that you could really do the
Yeah.
beginning part of like building it up into the Scottish, and then going into and then have flashbacks that way, and then the middle part, and then of course the end battle. Have that kind of like 1, 2, and 3. But they won't. It'll just be one and done, and then try and hold it
Yeah.
out for a second one.
And that's probably why I like the television show,
Mm,
because there's a lot to the story. So, Galadorn, Adrian Paul is the
mm.
actor that played, um, uh, it's not Connor MacLeod, help me out, the other MacLeod.
Oh, I haven't watched it in years. I mean, years.
And the cool thing about that, it was silly, it was stupid, and he's running through history, but part of the film that, and we'll get into it, but Duncan, how can I forget
Mm.
Duncan? Part of the film that feels quite out of place, because you don't get enough of it, is the other points in time. So you only get that one small scene with him in World War II, because it's
Yeah.
instrumental to finding Rachel. But that's what the TV show did. The TV
Mm.
show showed him throughout history.
Yeah, so then you've got what's 18th century got to be, just because he said I haven't seen you 200 years, so
Yep.
must be that. And then you've got, is that it? You just got the Second World War, 18th century.
Oh, and they show the duel, 1783.
Yeah, it was a 17. Okay,
Yeah, so he knows everything about 1783, which was that was kind of cool. He's like,
yes.
he said, "Oh, that's when the Montgolfier brothers went up in their balloon." And then I'm waiting for him to say, "And that's when the British finally recognized the United States of America," because that's a big deal here, 1783 for that. But you could do a lot with this if done with care. This is another one of those IPs that could be brilliant. It could be entertaining for people of many different age groups, right? It could have better special effects without going over the top. It could have good acting. There's so much here. So, certainly we'll stay optimistic, but won't get our hopes up too much. And that's why I love it. That's why I chose it, for fantasy, because it is such an interesting, an interesting concept and an interesting story. It's the same reason why I like Doctor Who.
The wheel did listen to you, because your first pick, you were like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do the Lord of the Rings trilogy," and then it listened to your second pick, what was Highlander.
I know.
And then it did your next pick anyway. So the wheel was listening.
The wheel knows all. Like, seriously, it's kind of it is. I think the word is prescient. Prescient. It knows all. But while we're here, we'll also talk about the numbers just for a minute. This was not a box office success.
Oh.
In fact, it was quite a box office failure. It was made for, I guess, in 1985, 86, that's a modest budget of $19 million. It would be $55 million today. I think that's still considered modest, or maybe an average budget.
Yeah.
It only made $12.9 million worldwide. So that's a loss. That's a big loss, actually. It was the 109th highest grossing film of 1986. There were a lot of films in 1986. Number one being Top Gun. It was a huge, like, the top 5 all made a ton of money. Top Gun,
I wonder how much DVDs. I bet it all got on DVD sales. I think VHS sales. Sorry, VHS sales.
I got it on DVD, and I got one. So my original DVD of this was one of those first DVDs that had the built-in advertisements that you can't get rid of. Like, you have to watch through the advertisements. So a really cheap DVD. But yeah, it was a good year. I did see Top Gun in the theaters. I did see Karate Kid 2 in the theaters. I was too young to see Aliens and too young to see, well, Back to School wouldn't have been my thing, but I know my granddad liked Rodney Dangerfield when he goes back to college.
No, don't think I've
It's
heard of it.
American thing.
Okay. You didn't see Crocodile Dundee in the cinema?
No, just not my thing. But some of my friends did. So they were all talking with horrible Australian accents in school.
Yeah.
They came back to school and were talking like that and saying all the
This
jokes
ain't
from
a
the film.
knife. This is a knife.
Yeah. So, nah, not my thing, but I did see
Yeah.
Top Gun multiple times. Multiple
No, but
times.
that would have smashed everything really off the park. But I'm surprised this didn't, yeah, at least break even. It's like that with Sean Connery at that
Oh,
point. He's still relevant, isn't he? He wasn't doing a lot. I think they probably got him because all his scenes are in Scotland, so they went like, "You want to watch? You're here." And I'm guessing he's the most paid actor, definitely.
oh, has to
Everyone,
be.
yeah,
Has to be. And yeah, again, okay, yeah, we'll do it because we're in Scotland, but you're gonna play an Egyptian Spaniard dude.
and
And
yeah, but they probably him was like, "I'm not changing my accent. I'm not
well,
doing it."
you got that. I mean,
Okay, yes, but don't worry, it's not that kind of movie. It's like that.
let's look
Okay.
past all the accents, please, in this film, because we're gonna
Yeah,
have to look past
yeah.
all the accents in this film.
Uh,
But our star is Christopher Lambert, and um, it's the background to the choreography of the fight scenes. Christopher Lambert suffered or still suffers from severe myopia, so he's very short-sighted, and which also kind of creates that stare that he has, that just, very
mm,
intense stare, to the point where he is, you know, nearly classified blind. And so for the fight scenes, there was quite trepidation with him, flailing around even a fake sword. And you'll notice his fight scenes are very slow. It's very slow. That was purposeful. That was definitely purposeful
uh,
because it wasn't going to work with him
oh,
going at a
I
different
think that's
speed
where,
because he
like, as
couldn't
well,
see.
when you're not going to go over the top with the
Mhm.
special effects and the kind of choreography, and they relied on lighting, especially when you go for the end scene.
Yes.
The lighting into that to get over the obstacle of like, they're not the actors actually fighting. It's obvious, but only obvious because you know how films work. But I think
Mhm.
it's like we're going to how well that is having. This is all lighting, all about how do we disguise that we can't do that at special effects, all with lighting. It's all with backlighting, so it's quite clever when they do that one. Is yeah, how they realize we can't spend another $1 million. Let's
No.
turn the lights that way. But yeah, it's I think it was quite clever done in parts. But yeah, so
It was, and really, when you think about the scenes, the the outdoor scenes in Scotland, don't require any real work or special effects.
well,
Um,
it only requires one thing: not to be raining all the
Not to be
time.
raining, and if it did, hey, that's what it is there. And then the rest of the scene, the indoor scenes, the close in scenes, were kind of redundant and repetitive, right? In his apartment, her apartment, the police station, etc. So, I mean, you could tell this was a very limited production, shall we say.
Yeah,
And probably also the reason why they didn't um, cover any other time frames, or time periods other than the three that we talked about. And even now that I'm thinking about it, if you think about that World War II scene, it's in, I'm sure it's supposed to be a barn or a warehouse of some sort. It's probably filmed at the same warehouse that,
yeah.
the Silver Cup warehouse where
Well,
the
that's it.
fight
It's
scene.
everything. You're like they have one person in Nazi uniform, don't they? So it's like, and the rest you can just see it, and it's yeah, it's quickly that'll do. Like we don't need that many goes at this. So
I will also say, since we're talking about effects, and I say this with all love and affection for this film because I do love this film, I didn't even mind in the final fight scene. Did you see the wires?
oh yes, when they
You can clearly
yes.
see him on wires.
You care. I don't
And
care.
it's
I
okay.
don't
It's like,
care.
I
It's
think in other films that would really annoy me, but in this film, it was like, "Ah, okay."
the only
But
thing
yeah,
is I always get distracted is when you watch a movie and then the boom comes down slightly. You're like, oh,
yep.
there it is. It just got me out.
It
Damn it.
takes you right out of
Yeah.
it. But here, I didn't care.
No.
I
I say
didn't
I
care.
yeah I watched I think because there's a theoretical theater cut and the director's cut. So I think I watched the director's cut yesterday. I think like that. There's not much else. I think there's
Oh,
not a
okay.
lot else. I think it's just there's a couple of extra scenes that like like a couple of seconds more onto it. I think it's like one of those ones, director's cut, an extra 1 minute. It's like they've just drawn out some of the other scenes, but yeah.
I need
There's
to
no,
watch more of the director's cut
is that
that have the
actually? I
commentary.
no, I believe it. The original title was going to be Shadow Clan.
Wow.
Oh, that's true. That's awful, and I believe it's true because it's Daryl, and I'm like, that would
Yeah,
have been
Daryl knows
terrible.
his stuff.
Shadow Clan. That would have been
The
that would have been bad, wouldn't it? That would have been
That would
bad.
have
Makes
been
more sense.
terrible.
Yeah.
Mark Singer. Okay, so Mark Singer. Okay, we were talking about my original sci-fi. This would have been the same time. So Mark Singer was the male lead in V, the television series
Okay.
V for Visitors. That was another one that I liked.
Mm.
Highlander, the TV series, V, and Battlestar Galactica. Those were my jam back then. Yeah, and he was Beastmaster too. That's right, Galadorn. Oh my gosh. Boy, the late 80s, early 90s, that was just the place to be. Of course, that's when I was, a certain age. You were younger though. You were younger than me at that point in time, but there was some good stuff on television for sure back then.
So I keep just doing that. It's just because anybody interested in football, England are beating Germany 1-0 in the under 21s final, so European final. So we're winning.
Awesome.
So I just like that. So I'm like, ooh, yeah, it's against Germany.
Go Brits.
Yeah. England. England.
Sorry.
In football, we can't say Brits. Bloody
I'm
hell.
sorry about that. I caught myself. I caught myself. It's the white flag with the red. I know. Yeah.
I think the Welsh, the Scots, and the Northern Irish will get really pissed off if you put them in the same bag. God, that's where everyone's like, damn it.
I had a little Northern Irish in me.
That's why we just call you Canadians. That's it. Fine.
Oh well.
That's it. But so yeah, so I say this artwork. I got a couple. I think this is the original DVD. Like what was on the DVD. I don't think I couldn't find like actual release poster. This was
my DVD just has the face. Just has his face.
Okay.
And it's like it's very filtered. It's not black and white, but it's very grayish.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it, but it's not this colorful. This is very comic bookish kind of.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? I was like, that's good. I like that. But yeah, it's there can be only one.
There can be only one.
Good tagline. It's a very, very good tagline. It's like that, and when you watch it, like
I
Jay,
think I use it like once a week. I swear, I probably say there can be only one. We last week when we talked about the Lord of the Rings film, and we talked about, no, it's all one because there can be only one. And I say it constantly. It's a good bit of culture, and I think some of the critical sites that I looked at, even though it was not a box office hit, it is certainly a cultural hit. A cult classic for sure. That also inspired so many other works. So again, if they do remake it, just please let it not be an abomination. And
there you go. As Abe just did that, we've just scored again.
Good.
There you go. Especially, sorry, anybody who's not interested in football, not soccer, football. But Germany beat us in the group stages 2-1. So this is like the kind of getting our own back as well for the group stages, and it would, we'll lift the trophy back to back, so that's good.
Nice.
Things can't do. Our senior team can't do, but that's a different story. But you never know. We might do it in America.
Youngsters do it.
Yeah, so I think it's. I don't know where the final is, but I'm guessing it's got to be New York, isn't it, or LA? You would think the final to the World Cup.
I don't know. I haven't even looked at all the sites yet, and
it's just all over the place. It's terrible for any travelers.
I know, because the United States is really big.
Yeah, but it's also Mexico and Canada.
Yep, that's the whole.
So you got one. Well, you got Mexico City, and then I think it's in. I want to say Vancouver, not Toronto.
So
I think it's
3,000 miles apart. Just 3,000 miles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're unlucky, you've got to go to Mexico City, to New York, then to Vancouver. You're kind of screwed. But there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's what happens when when you go coast to coast.
Is there a reference? Is that you just wanted to that Madonna is from the 80s?
I forgot, Daryl. Yes, Madonna in the
Yeah,
80s
I was
for
like,
sure.
I'll let you have that. So, but yeah, it's okay. All right. As we're still
Let's
waiting, we're
dive
going to
in.
crack on with the kind of things, and hopefully Jay will pop in very very soon. But I say I always get, when you're like, oh, I'm going to enjoy this every time. This is a
Best
movie
film
that
opening of ever.
it's like that, and I'm going to put it in. It's just that really undertone voice of Sean Connery. I'm going to let you read that out, Sandy, because
Well, I can't read the whole thing. Let's see. From the dawn of time we came,
in
moving
the Scottish
silently.
accent.
I already embarrassed myself a few weeks ago trying to do Scottish, so I'm not going to do that.
Go on.
Moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. No one has ever known we were among you until now. And then the best beginning of any film ever, ever, ever. Here we are. Can't do it. But
That literally, it does make you go, yes, I'm going to watch a good movie now. That, like I say, we'll talk about the soundtracks, I think, but that is great. Bang. And it's like you got the vocals. It really does get you. Ooh, I'm going to watch something good here.
it
I'm going to
is
watch
bang.
something
It's
good.
Freddie.
Yes.
It's the first time you see it, it's unexpected. And it's like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, pause, rewind,
Yeah.
turn up the volume, do that again. And
Yeah,
it's
I like
just
it because I think I said this to my girlfriend, is like that this Sean Connery bit. That's all I need to know. That is it. I don't need to know the backstory, anything else. That is it. Ooh,
yeah.
and then we got to get into it. And then even when I watch it again, I don't need to know the mo. And of course, Ramirez does kind of instigate to that a little bit later. Was it the birds in the sky, the air you breathe, and what that I can't remember the line. The pinholes in the sky, the stars.
Pinholes in the fabric of the sky, of the
And
stars.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't need to know.
Don't
I
overthink
don't
it.
need to
He's
know.
saying,
I
don't
don't need
overthink
to know.
it. It is
Yeah,
because it is. That's
yeah, and I
exactly what
like
he's saying.
I like that. It's that gives like this movie, I think, as well, a little bit of mystery. It's like, yeah, we're here. We don't even know who we are. We just know one thing:
Mhm.
is there's a prize at the end, and there's going to be a gathering, and they know about the quickening. That is it. But they don't understand why. We just know, yeah, we're kind of brothers. So it's like that. So,
And there can be only one. And
yeah.
I think the I don't want to compare to the television show. The television show explains the quickening a little more, like
Yeah.
why, how they're kind of accepting each other's energy. Um, not unlike the Doctor's regeneration, but they get their life force from those that have gone before them. That's kind of cool. But it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
And it's a cool concept to think, you know, they're they could okay, use your imagination. Are they walking among us now? Would you know that? How cool is that? That's another concept that's always been interesting to me is like, that there are those that are here and there are those who know, like the whole watchers, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
to compare Buffy, Giles and
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, those who are entrusted to know these things. In the television show, there was a watcher for the Highlander, and here it's Rachel, right? Rachel's the one who knows
Yes.
um, about him, and that's just again, it's just a really interesting concept that doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You're right. That's all you need to know.
There's not lizard people. Come on. Queen Elizabeth II wasn't a lizard person.
No, but the television show V for Visitors, Abe, if you haven't
Yes.
seen it, they are the
They-
lizard. I
yeah,
don't mean to
yeah.
spoil it for you. They are the lizard people.
But so we get this music going on whilst we get an entry of this very cheesy 80s things. Now I didn't realize until this rewatch, I didn't pay attention. I didn't realize they're wearing the Confederate battle flag as they come in. I
Oh,
didn't I didn't notice it. So they're
probably.
from
I didn't.
Georgia. The main three that come
Okay.
in with the red thing, they actually announced them from Georgia. I can't remember what they were called now, but yeah, they came in with like, I didn't realize, yeah, the Confederate
Oh,
battle flag. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
that
that's
was a
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Now,
but it wouldn't be done now. But yeah, I was just,
no.
oh, that's yeah, it was. But I love this. Of course, you got the music and you got the roar of the crowd. but I love how they've panned this all the way around, done this like view, and they're like,
Yeah.
it's clever because you've got the, I suppose, this battle, wrestling battle, I suppose you want to call it, but how it gets from like you get from entry, and then it just pans around the
Mm-hmm.
ring. And I love that until, of course, starts going higher and higher and higher, and it's just like you don't see anything. I love that because everybody's cheering, and you're just going closer, and they do it slowly, and then you get the, of course, just
The
the,
eyes.
the eyes, and it's just
The
like
eyes.
that. I like it. There's
Well,
one person who's not doing anything. I like that.
he's there,
Yeah,
and I
it
think
intrigues you. It's like why straight away? Why?
why? And so the as cheesy as this is, i- in a civilized society, as we are now, in a society that has progressed beyond brutal battle, sports would have taken over, right? The
Mm,
role that
yeah,
sports are supposed to play today is what war was back then. Yeah, we still have not become that civilized yet, obviously, but for someone like him to be watching this cheesy wrestling and knowing where he has been in battle
mm,
versus what this is supposed to be, the toughest men in the ring. And if this were a battle royale, as they call it in wrestling, there would be only one
yeah.
remaining in the ring. So there's kind of a little symbolism there. It's not too on the nose. Um, but I think like he's here, he's not into it. Everybody else around him is into it. He's here because I think remember, they talk about being drawn. You're going to be drawn together, and there's someone else here. He's going to be in the parking lot, but there's someone else here who is like him. And that's where he's drawn, and they're drawn together because in the end, there can be only one.
But yeah, I think the movie does it quite well that you you get, of course, Sean Connery's Ramirez speech over the top, but then you kind of get that, but how they instantly go to like close his eyes, and then you get teleported, I suppose, historically into the Highlands of Scotland. I think it's cleverly well done. Then, of course, you get him,
Yeah.
you get to see like straight away, you get to see a not young him because he's not grown up. It's just a different, yeah, long haired, redhead kind of
Mm-hmm.
Scotsman. It's like that in the Clan MacLeod. And yeah, no,
And
like
McLeod.
they're off to yeah, they're going to battle, and then you kind of straight away they don't, it straight away you know what's going on. It's yeah, this is not time travel. It's that
It's
he's
his
living like
memory.
yeah. It's yeah because he's remembering what the past is. So I think it's very clever to things like
I
that.
do
And of course,
too.
and I think with having the of course the Queen, and then all of a sudden you get the bagpipes. I think the contrast of like where you are. It's like that. No, with bagpipes is very iconic. For just for
Yeah.
Scotland. But I think how you just got boom music and then straight into the joys of Scotland. But then of course yeah, once he goes that, I do like how he's has that little memory, and of course we go back to the fighting of this battle about what we're about to fight, but then he gets the battle because we're back into it because he's been distracted.
Mm-hmm.
He's as you say he's drawn. He senses I suppose there's another. I
A
suppose
life
in like
force. Yeah,
yeah
there's another like him, another brother.
yes,
Um, and the
and I
no, go
can't
ahead.
count. No, I just can't. But I kind of like that. He's like he just goes straight away, just stands up, and he's like, "There's somebody else." It's like because straight away he's not paying any attention to what's going on in front of him. It's just how he's like, "Nope, I'm gonna have I've got a sense." It's like a spider sense, I suppose you want to call it. But I think it's good. Yeah,
Amazing
go on.
how he can conceal that huge sword and sit down comfortably. It's just tucked away somewhere in that
In his
trench,
Columbo,
in
yeah,
his
he's
Columbo trench. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just there. But it is. That's, you have to suspend disbelief with
yeah.
how he's hiding that sword right now.
But yeah, so he gets drawn into um the parking lot of the
Typical garage. Typical
yeah,
garage.
yeah, and then of course whilst he's there, McLeod, and I can't remember what his name is. I don't. Well, I don't think you need to know that much. Like somebody in chat will probably know, but of course they get ensued into our first fight, and I like this because you like it's clever. I
Is it
think like
Murdoch? Is he Murdoch?
I can't remember,
No, I don't think so. I don't think that was it.
but like I
Um,
like how they get your swords out. I mean, I feel like
yep, they know what's going on.
yeah, but I like that. I think that gives it a bit more like they could have like a different way to kill each other, but no, you've got to. Yeah, the only way you can do it is if you get decapitated, and how we can do that sword. So they don't bother. You know, like they could maim them with grenades, but like it's just like to make it cool. We're gonna give
Mhm.
swords. We're gonna give swords, and I like how like yeah, he's got a katana. What how they call a samurai in this movie, don't they? Later on, like I find that funny. But he's got like a very elegant, like a Spanish or French design sword. So like you can tell, oh, you know, instantly, oh, they're slightly different. They're using like different styles or techniques. But yeah, they have it's first fight, and it's great. I like that. Like you're what like less than 10 minutes in the movie,
Oh
and
yeah.
you've had like a great opening. You've then had like you've already set up that he's from the past in Scotland. We've started just seeing the inks of a battle about to start, and then you get a duel. It's brilliant, and it's a good duel. It's like that because they are both going for it, and I think like it it's just a little bit of fun. It makes you draws you in because you're like, ooh, you don't know the characters yet. You know your hero, but you don't know the other one. But you get backflips, you get cars exploding, you
The
get like
back
a bit of it, and it's
so like
like it's
yes,
great. It's
because
just
it's faster to do back handsprings than it is to run. Yeah, but
yeah,
that's okay. It's okay.
that's what I do when I need to run. I'm like, no,
Yep.
backward hands flips. There we go. No, I would do it. But yeah, so yeah, in this, yeah, but we even get like the sprinkler system comes on.
Of course.
Yeah, to make it more dramatic. He loses his sword. Yeah, and he has to get it away, things like that. But it's just, I think it's just a good little like a good setup. Also, it then it gets you the police aspect later because they're doing it in a public place, and I'm guessing that
Mhm.
doesn't normally happen. It doesn't seem like they
Well,
kind of
we're in New
a bit,
York. It probably
yeah,
does happen a little
yeah.
bit.
This is the 80s. New York is the center of everything for at films. This is
It
like
is.
everything.
Ghostbusters. Yep.
Everything happens in New York.
You
Alien
name it, it's
landings.
New
Yeah,
York. And I think what you also get with with the garage is the ability to like blow up every windshield and tie, when everything starts exploding during the quickening, you get a lot of glass. And so, as we see here, as we see later in the film, they're like a lot of kaboom and blowing up. And there was an opportunity for a lot of destruction, but on a small scale.
yeah,
Parking garage, everything is self-contained. It's not like you're blowing up something outside, which would have cost more and would have been more involved in filming. So probably smart to do it in a
yeah.
contained
They probably
parking
could have,
garage also.
yeah, and they probably rented the cheapest parking garage and went, look, we're gonna have a couple explosions, and they were like, yeah, how long are you gonna be
Yep,
in it for? That's it. That
do
that
it.
is good. Yeah. So it's but yeah, he gets his thing, and then straight away you know, and again when I said they keep it thing. This is a different. This isn't just time traveling and decapitation sword fights. There's something else going on, and you don't know what it is. And I like
Mhm.
that because you get the body. You can just see there the outline of what remains of his head, and he just starts to glow. And of course, we get the our first event of the quickening. We don't know what it is. We just know there's things. Now, I always, yeah, it's like the consumption, I suppose, of his power.
Yeah.
I suppose, a mad rush that you get. I suppose like that from absorbing, an essence or something like that, or
Mhm.
like you go from the more you like because there's a feel like Kurgan's the strongest, so like maybe Kurgan has killed more of them.
Yep.
That
So
makes
he's
sense. It's,
absorbed
you
more
level
of
up.
the
It's,
energy.
you,
You're
yeah,
leveling up. Mm-hmm.
you're leveling up, and yeah, it's like as a kid, that's kind of cool. You're like, kind of cool,
That
like
is kind of cool.
it's So but everything starts to explode, and then of course. I do like this transition, though. I must say, I thought yesterday, like when they transition from the garage to the back to Scotland through. How are we going to transition? They just go pan up through the ceiling of the parking lot into bonny old Scotland. And so we got,
Glenfinnan. He's in Glenfinnan.
and then we get again. They're off now. They're marching off to the battle against the Frasers. So we have the things we get. I couldn't get a good shot of Conor McLeod, but yeah, he's off to his first battle. He's got his missus, who's like that. Take a lock of my hair. We find out from what is the other one? It's his first battle. I forgot the other guy's name, who kind of helps him out.
Oh, Angus, not Angus.
Angus, yeah.
Angus, yeah.
And he's like, just keep close to me, son, and like that. So they're off, and then we first get when they get
does he look good? Look at that. I mean, so you're seeing all the other, quaint villagers hiking off to war with their, their kind of battle garments, as it were, and then you see this. Complete battle armor with the head of a something, maybe a bear. Like, what is that? A head of a lion, a bear, whatever that is making this this helmet. But complete battle dress, totally imposing. Plus the fact that he's like near 7 feet tall anyway.
Yeah, and he's got the biggest horse there going.
That's a good look.
Yeah,
it's a good imposing look for sure. And he gives instructions that
remember our deal.
No one kills Conor McLeod. Hey, don't kill him.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
When they get to the battlefield, Connor's a little ticked off. No one will fight me. No one will fight me.
Yeah, but then the thunderstorm. I liked this because it's like of course, Connor doesn't know. It's an awakening moment for him as well with the quickening, because it starts to do the lightning on the back. So there is I'm guessing he, like, when he looks up, that he doesn't get it. Like, what is this feeling I'm getting? But like, the world, I suppose, does know that these two powerful entities, let's call them, or beings, or what you want to call them, are in close proximity, and they're about to things. But he's why will nobody fight me? And he's like, oh, like when people run up to him, they're like, oh, run away. Like that. And
it's him. Let me leave you alone. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going, but he gets again. It's the Kurgan gets to him, doesn't he? And he's like, what? And you see the terror on his face. And I think it's because you've never seen that before.
What is this? Yes. What is
fully in battle, like dresses, like that's I think so. This must be this is 15, was it? So 16th century, wasn't it? Because they say 15, 17.
Yeah, they said 15 something. I didn't.
Late, it's the late 15. Yeah, so this is the clan wars, like battles are very heated. So they've just they're not going to see really full like armor like that, because he's from Prussia, what I think they say later Russia, but it'd been probably parts of Prussia.
Yeah.
So he's fully gone in, and of course he's a ready evil man, things like that. So he gets in, easily stabs Connor through the midriff. I want it.
Straight through the abdomen.
Lift out his sword, boom, done. And and as he's about to decapitate him, he gives it, there can be only one. And of course, then his cousins, they quickly barge him, rugby tackle him.
This is what I don't understand. Didn't he see there were others that were still alive? Like, anyway, and numbers.
I think he was
too. This
focused
wasn't a one-on-one fight.
I don't care about anybody else. I just need to. I'm getting the head. That's what he cares about. And he's like, that. I want that. Then, I suppose it's like maybe like it's the next fix as well for someone, like like it's a drug afterwards, because they say they all say they get gathered. Maybe it's like a
Yeah.
a fix that they need to also, they can't stop. They have to.
Laser focused.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's it. But yeah, so he's laying on the floor as he's out the picture, and then of course, whilst that's the scream, it goes then back to New York, I suppose it's supposed to be, in racing out of the
The
parking
garage.
lot, parking lot garage at Falls, while the police are already there. It's quite good police response, I must say that.
Yeah, a lot of New York's finest there for.
Yeah, very, very quickly. So yeah, they quickly well, they don't arrest. I don't think they've been arrested. Just take him in for questioning, don't they? Like
They
that. They
take
don't.
him into custody. He's being brought in for
Yeah,
questioning because he was the only one there.
yeah,
He's probably been through this 100 times throughout history at this
yeah.
point in his life, so he's not too pressed. But yeah, they take him in because they've
Mm.
got a person without a head.
Yeah. But
You
when they
know,
don't say that, we get and then back, don't we? When he gets arrested, then we go straight back, of course, to Bonnie Isle, Scotland again, where we see Connor fading away. Now, why I think this is this because you have to die once?
see, I don't know if he died. Like, how would they know
Yeah,
that he was really dead? I think he was just,
yeah,
healing. And this
mm,
is where the first curse of being immortal is people don't understand you. And
yeah,
so the obvious conclusion, because even before going into battle, remember, someone is Angus or someone else says, God is on our side. So they're
yeah,
religious people. And so they see someone who's got his guts pretty much torn up and torn out, who's not to them breathing. Not only does he heal, I think it's the way in which he heals. He just pops
yeah.
right up. Like, in a few hours, he's just standing up and he's fine. So it wasn't a slow healing, and they're all
Well,
very
that's it.
afraid. It's the work
Well,
of the devil.
well, yeah, because they're like they know by their knowledge of battles it's a goner wound. Like
That's
even though they're like,
mortal.
yeah, they
It
say your
sliced your
goodbyes. That's it.
liver. That's yeah,
Don't let hear him cry, because they know. Yeah, it's just they haven't got the skills to heal him.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's he's going to be a gone. And then of course we go back to the parking lot where we first see, what's her name? Oh,
Oh
I
God,
remember
what's her name?
That's Roxanne in.
It
I can't
is. Hang
remember.
on, let me get her name. It's,
What's her name?
Brenda, but
Brenda.
she lies about her name, but,
Yeah,
her name is Brenda, and this was I get what they were going for. I get that part of his story is that he did need a love interest.
mm,
But the forensic scientist who's an expert in metallurgy, I don't know. That was, but you know what? Just like some other things, you have to look past it. You just have to look past it. Hey,
hey,
and we will never look past Jay. Hey, Jay.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
that is very fashionably late. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know the deal these days.
That's
It's
fine. How are you?
time is no
You're
longer in
not
my
the boss,
control.
Jay. You're not the
Exactly.
boss.
Not anymore. No. How are you?
Good, good. Busy,
Yeah, a bit
busy and
stressed.
eventful Saturday so far. So happy to chill and talk some Highlander here.
That's it. Yeah, we're about 20 minutes in the into the movie.
Oh,
So we've
perfect. Okay.
just let's a quick recap for Jay where we are. So we've had our first fight, of course, in the parking lot,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've had Connor's just been stabbed on the battlefield, and then we're back that he's been arrested. They're now forensics are looking at the scene in the parking
Right.
lot.
Okay.
So
Caught up.
that's wrapped up and up to Cap. So yeah, so we were just saying, Sandy, sorry for interrupting you, but Jade came in about the swords and her skill
No.
base.
Yeah, and so she's looking at, little things that they've picked up in the parking garage, and she's a whiz with metallurgy, and she's found these little shards, so she knows these aren't just any swords or sword. At this moment, she knows there's a sword, but later there's swords involved. So this is Brenda. So Brenda's our little nerd who's going to figure it all out under a microscope as to where
But she also say this is a salamander sword worth $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But whilst we get that, of course, we get Connor. No, well, it's not Connor now. It's Russell Nash.
Russell Nash.
Russell Nash has been arrested. Not arrested, for questioning. At the local station after. Yeah. So he gets things. Have you seen this man? Have you seen what is this? Because he is a antiques dealer. So they question him as he's a dealer. What is this? It's a sword. But again, like Sandy said, I think it is like I've been in this situation 1,000 times, because like what he faking his name, or like through he knows, keep quiet, just be a bit cocky but not too cocky, and then they can't do anything. They've not got the weapon. He's like, because we forgot to say, he did hide his weapon as he goes. That's why he hasn't got it. Does he? Puts it up on, I don't know what it was, like a
vent, like a lighting vent or something.
Yeah, I wasn't totally sure. Just looked like a hanging piece of metal, conveniently
it was a bit weird.
Hide a sword. I wasn't entirely sure.
Yeah, like loads of rubbish in it. I was like, what is that? So I don't know if it was a thing. I was like, I don't know what that is. But yeah, so he kind of gets out. Am I arrested? No, you're not. And then we get a radio of, we've got an unidentified man, and then you get to see the Kurgan with little cassette player. I know his name, and again,
Queen.
Yeah,
put on the Queen.
Music, Queen. Put on Queen. That's it. So you got to give Kurgan. He's got a good taste in music. But yeah, so we now know from the battle that Kurgan is also getting, at least
he can sense it, I think, because there were two of them together. So because Connor and Murdoch, or whoever the other guy was, I think it was Murdoch, were together, I think that's what attracted him, because there's two now that have been attracted together, and later we'll see more.
Yeah, I wonder if that is actually a thing. Like they meant to just think it's supposed to be an underlining tone that they can sense one of them has gone. I
think so. That's me. I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets his nice little apartment.
A rundown hovel. Yes. As you could see by the clientele of this place, very affordable, shall we say?
Yeah. Now I do know that this sword has been tested because of how it is assembled, and it would never work.
That was my first thought.
No,
I'm like, there's
exactly.
no shot.
It would never work. I think Shad, isn't it? He does his
kind of,
things. I think they actually got somebody to see if it actually would work, and got it to. It's just that middle when it would.
Oh yeah,
gonna have no structure.
You can't do that. It's
a cosplay.
I was thinking Forged in Fire. We have a show about this.
Yeah. I just didn't really understand the need to keep it in a briefcase like that. Like, this guy seems like somebody who could walk around with it hanging off his back and not really care who approaches him or says otherwise.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really understand the reason for it. I think it was probably just maybe something they thought would be cool, like a sniper in a kind of that kind of spy or sniper movie would have all their compartments in a case and put the thing together. Like, I felt like that's what they were going for, but it just didn't make sense with a sword. It was a bit odd.
It's another one of those things I don't think we should think too much about.
I think with this movie, there's a lot of stuff you don't want to think too much about, because if you do, it's got some spots.
Yeah, but that's it. It's just a cool looking sword. He does like your little plaything. And I do like this.
Yeah, I will say, put together, it is a cool looking sword with the little kind of like things coming off the hilt there. It's definitely.
But cool. I do like even though he's been training probably like with probably 1,000 years, he's still training with it. He's still making sure he's still up to things, and so things until of course he has a break with Candy. Lucky he can't get it. Lucky he can't die of STDs or anything like that.
I guess that's a good point.
I don't know who was in more danger there.
I didn't even think of that, but yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah,
what does he have to worry about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a candy. Yeah,
one of the benefits of immortality, I guess. It's never crossed my mind till right now.
There we go. Oh, but we get that, and of course, we go back to Girl Nerd looking for the microscopic pieces, and then she gets her shards, that kind of alarm bells, kind of signals out that through. Now, I'm sure you wouldn't be able this would take some kind of time to get an actual date of them shards. Because she
at that time, maybe today it's easier, but back in the 80s, I don't know. But she said it was the number of times that the metal was folded, 200 layers, 200 times, and that technology, she's estimating when that technology was around. I don't know. I can't imagine that taking an hour or two.
Yeah. But do we care? No.
But she's, girl power. She's smart. So we don't care. We don't care. We overlook it. It's fine.
But so she goes back to retrieve the thing, in some shards again to find out. She lucky enough takes her metal detector to exactly the same place where the Russell.
Yeah, she just happens to know where exactly.
Yeah. And then, of course, he's there. Of course, he's got his sword. He's retrieved his sword, and he's going back. He's now followed her. She hears a noise. Well, I don't get would you be that panicky about there's a noise? It could have been kids, like that. I always think like that.
Yeah, at first I thought so, but then I'm like, you know what? Somebody just got decapitated here. That's a very weird crime that you don't see very often.
Yeah,
so I could buy an extra heightened sense of panic.
Yeah.
But by the way, metal detector against a column that probably has rebar in it, but okay, fine. We find two little shards. The rebar isn't making my metal detector go off.
You can clearly see the kind of gash left in this otherwise perfectly fine column, so I think you know where to look. I'm pretty sure it's about eye level too, so I don't think you needed all that, but fair enough.
Oh well, okay, we can overlook it. It's fine.
She likes her brandy. I'll give her that. I'm guessing that's
holy moly, she does.
She sure does.
Even a guy I like how he's like, tell me when. And he's just like, I'm going to leave the bottle.
Yeah.
The bottle after that kind of moment. I'm like, wow. And but then Nash comes in and he's like, he orders these, a very, specific drink, doesn't he? Of a brandy, I guess, a Scots or Scott whiskey. And then, he's in the background, he's just like, oh, do you ever go to the garden? And she hears it as well. And she's like, what? You talking to me? And he's like, what? I'm not talking to you. And I like that because he just plays up, and then he's like, he calls her her name, doesn't he? Is at this point?
I
don't know if it's here.
It's not here, is it?
I know Lacey knows.
Yeah, I think it's
he knows her real name later because of the book that she published.
I think it's a little later on that he actually says her name.
But so she has a great idea. He leaves the bar. I know, I'm going to follow him. Something like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, if you knew this might have been the prime suspect of a decapitation, you're going to call for backup. You're going to
call for backup. Yeah.
You wouldn't just go, I'm going to follow him. So they go on to a follow things. He grabs her, be quiet, and then of course who pops out? The Kurgan. Hello. Like that. And it's we have a night again. In the mid, as Sandy said earlier, Jay, it's good the fight scenes because they can smash things up. Because again, it's an industrial area, so they do that. Everything's industrial. He has a pole for his weapon at this point. He can't. I don't. Did he get his sword? He must have got his sword by now. Did he? Or was he going?
Yes. Didn't he get it when he followed her back to the?
But he uses a pole, doesn't he?
He gets it when he follows her back as she's doing the forensic work at the cement column there, I believe.
Yeah, but his game, it's a great little duel going on. It's just there to set things up that these are enemies, and we've seen this fight, of course, that wasn't good. So now we know, of course, Russell Nash, he's now can hold his own instead of just get stabbed, stabbed in the midriff. He can hold his own, and of course, the only way this gets kind of stopped is, of course, the New York Finest. Their helicopter branch was, I guess, in the area like that. So,
and speaking of New York's Finest, I don't know if I maybe missed this at the beginning of the stream, but did you guys highlight the film connection we had this week with the cops? It was Mr. John Polito again from Miller's Crossing.
Miller's Crossing.
All right. I wasn't sure if we covered it or not.
Yep.
That and from Homicide, and also I forgot to mention the first time he was hauled into the police station. One of the I guess not officers, but somebody else in the station had an Orioles cap on. Did you catch that?
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Oh,
nice.
No,
and it was supposed
to be Madison Square Garden.
New York. Yeah, but they had, and it was the old cartoony Oriole hat, not the new one with the the more ornithologically correct bird. But there was someone with an Oriole hat on. And I had to do a double take. I'm like, well, this is definitely New York, but somebody's an Oriole fan.
There you go. Maybe the director.
And the last little bit, I will mention that you will see at least 3 instances of Pepsi product placement again. So we've also had the Pepsi thread for quite a while. Some signs, and then there's a zoom in on John Polito eating a big old bag of Doritos. So the Frito-Lay Pepsi.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even catch that, but he is
the Frito-Lay Pepsi product. So now I'm thinking like, the whole cola wars that were happening in the 80s, but where's Coke in all this? We're not seeing Pepsi, a lot of Coca-Cola in these films. So Pepsi must have been really making an effort with product placement where Coke wasn't at that time. So,
or maybe you just then like Pepsi because your brain got drawn to these movies.
So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why for sure.
Successful product placement.
Could be. So we're in, as you said, industrial site. Dark lighting, cheap filming, obviously easy to film. New York's Finest coming in to break up the battle here.
And of course they break it up, they run off, everybody scatters, and then we go back to Scotland. Of course, this is where they're talking. How
the devil.
There must be in the devil. So he turns up, everybody, even he walks into the room, it falls silent. What you think you're gonna drink with us? And then he's bit on the sides by girlfriend, if you want to call it. He's in league with the devil in front of the, I'm guessing, priest or whatever he is. And of course,
all the people he loves and who loved him, and look how they treat him. That's the curse of being immortal. You're misunderstood, and that's so sad.
And of course, they will burn him, but it was only then Angus, and I think that's it. Who is we said also is
James Cosmo. The dad in Trainspotting.
And also Game of Thrones. Jay, you said that earlier.
A whole bunch of other things.
Game of Thrones. What is he in Game of Thrones?
Jorah Mormont.
Oh, jeez. So you see, he was Bruce Wayne in the Titan show as well.
Yes, that's right. You told me that too. And
he's so used to seeing him older. I didn't even recognize him here.
Yeah, and he's the Renton's dad in Trainspotting and Trainspotting 2. He does come back in Trainspotting.
Is he?
Too.
How did I not catch that?
No, he's not. He's not the Watcher one you're thinking of. He's the guy at the Watch. I know who you're thinking of in Titans. No, it's not him. He's the he's not the leader of the Watch, is he?
No, I think he's Mormont, right? J.R. Mormont. Hang on, I'm gonna look him up.
Is that no?
It's not the one, Jay. I think you're thinking of. Jay, you're thinking of the other one.
The little girl, the little bear.
Yeah,
the Mormont clan.
The one who's in the other show there now. God, my mind is like fried this week.
She gets crushed by the.
Yeah, she's with Pedro Pascal in the video game show. I can't think of what the hell the name of it is now. The Last of Us. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, so that's who he plays. He's in a lot of stuff. He was in Wonder Woman. Remember, he was the American field marshal in Wonder Woman, and we also talked about what's his name from Trainspotting, also in Wonder Woman. Spud was also in Wonder
yeah.
Woman, so they were together in Wonder Woman.
What is this guy's name? Sorry, I'm trying to look at
James
him.
Cosmo.
James
And
Cosmo.
he's just one of those guys. He's just around.
Oh,
he's
okay.
J.R. Mormont.
Okay, I was thinking of the other one. Okay. All makes sense now. The other Mormon. I can't think of the other Mormon's name though, but Stasis, yeah, you knew who I was talking about. The other one.
Yeah.
Also doubles as Bruce Wayne. I can't think of his name.
I can't remember who he plays in Game of Thrones either.
Yeah, me neither. The one that loves God, I can't remember anybody's name today. I'm just gonna stop. I can't. What is the name of the Dragon Queen there? Why can't I think of her name now?
Daenerys.
Yes. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, he's the one who...
I'm going to take the backseat this episode, guys.
He's the one who is the traitor because he was selling slaves, wasn't he, for his family?
He gets the grayscale disease and all that. And
right. Oh, him. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of for a Mormon.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about,
Bruce.
too.
He's the older Bruce Wayne from Tyson Show.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. All cleared up now.
We're
I'm good. We can continue.
We're all straight now.
It's been one of those kind of days.
Yeah, so we're getting burn him, and we'll banish him, and they're like, no, we'll burn him, and even can you walk? I'll bloody walk out of here like that, and that's like, I'll never forget you, Angus. So he gets get out of town very, very quickly. He's banished from his clan.
I thought it was weird that the guy didn't try to at least untie him from that thing at all. He just kind of set him off running with that thing.
Left him on the yoke. I guess it's safer that way, right? Because if they let him free, then he could come back and harm them. So,
and I'm sure he didn't have enough time to sit there and dismantle that. So fair enough.
No, he's like, okay, I'm out of here.
So for this scene, I couldn't get the full shot, and I do like this. Now this is just geeky me.
I do too.
I love this. I love
this room. His room of requirement.
Yeah, and he just walks into it, and he's like sits down. And he just looks at, and you're like, every time I'm always like, oh, did I like you kind of want to pause it and then do really geeky stuff, and then go like, what is on that panel or wall? But yeah.
So the American Revolution battle flag, however,
I've got that later,
which has 1776 on it. That didn't happen. There was no flag that had 17. You wouldn't put like if something's happening today, you wouldn't put 2025 on it. So just saying. But really cool to have a room like this.
Yeah. Even geekier about liking this room is my like of it. I have a love of the design of sunken living rooms from like the 60s and 70s with those sunken couches.
Yeah.
So the second I saw that he had the sunken couch, I'm like, oh my God, that room is so awesome. I would love to have a room like that. So I wasn't even looking at like the war memorabilia. I was just like, oh man, that's an awesome sunken couch. For whatever reason, I've always loved that style.
I would love that. Like that's your little hold, isn't it? Whatever it is, like it doesn't like notices like his requirements over the years. But it'd just be cool just to have and it's
and I'm like, oh man, I'd have all my nerd stuff around me and that's sunken. It'd be awesome.
And it's obvious there's probably only one exit and exit point, and he's just sunken down. He's just got like a circular sofa, dunked in. He's like, yes, that's great. Yep. But
we expect to see that someday, Jay. We expect to see photos of your sunken living room with all your stuff around you.
If only. I would love it. I don't know why that ever went out of style. What was that, like 60s, 70s? I don't know why that went out of style. The sunken living room is so cool.
I don't know, but like at oh God, all those shows like the Bob Newhart show and the Mary Tyler Moore show, they walk down into their living rooms.
It's
right.
Awesome.
It is. It's cozy. There's something cozy about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah, so he goes and like there's a lot of brandy. He has his he's having his brandy. Well, yes, it's brandy again.
He's got good brandy though. I mean, he's got from 17 whatever brandy.
Yeah. But yeah, and then of course he just reminisces, and then we get now back into a shot that he's away, but he's now found his a love,
Heather,
like that. So yeah, he's romantic, having a romantic time, having a lot of bit of fun. Looks really happy, and then of course Ramirez turns up.
Our Egyptian Spaniard with a Scottish accent.
Yeah, I did like that. And I had to do it, and in peacock feathers.
Peacock feathers.
And I love it. It's like, it's like very flamboyant. Yeah, and he introduces himself, Ramirez, blah blah blah. Yeah, and in his Scottish accent, I love it. But again, he's it's now like this bit, and I always I like things. If you think like this bit when he's trained, and then we get into like training mode, it's Rocky. This is Rocky, probably what Rocky 3, Rocky 4, but it's like that kind of training mode when like you have like
Well, you get him running down a beach at the end, so that's
oh yeah,
true. You kind of have like when
3 for sure.
When Creed trains Rocky, kind
Rocky
of
3
feels a bit like that. Yeah, so it just and
that's true. You got the flamboyance. I didn't even think about that, but the flamboyance of the Apollo Creed and the Ramirez, interesting comparison there.
And then these kind of montages seemed very common in this era of film too. So I feel like you'd see that a lot.
But yeah, he's telling them about who he's kind of is, like what sensation you're feeling, and I why the quickening is happening to him, I don't know really. So yeah.
Maybe it's just him realizing who he is, and because he hasn't killed anyone yet, so he hasn't. Maybe this is just his energy he's drawing from the universe, as Sean Connery says. Why is anything why it is? Why is the sun shine in the morning? So maybe it's just kind of becoming aware of where he fits in the universe. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, we get I do like his voice. It's very simple how they got Ramirez about Connery to kind of just do the how we're going to explain. Just do a little voiceover. We don't need to explain it. We don't and then of course we get into then the next scenes really training. We get a little bit of course the humor as well with them when on the boat. I can't swim, damn it. I'm a man, not a fish. And he's like
it explains what a haggis is too.
Yeah,
You eat it.
You dress like a woman, you haggis or something like that. And he goes, what's a haggis? Like that. And he's like that. And I like it. Like I wonder if they purposely made a Scotsman say it's disgusting. That sounds disgusting. But yeah. So he goes in. I was always fascinated as a kid when he was underwater. I was like, how did they do that? Now, of course, you're like older, you kind of movie magic kind of gets, that's a bit disappointing. But yeah, I was like, how did they do that? How did they do that? I didn't realize there was a big, like a studio pond they could do that in. It's like, no. But yeah, but he, of course, he goes, thinks I know what I can do. I can creep up on him. And he goes, and unfortunately,
too slow.
Nope. Yeah, one because you're too slow. You're Highlander. Yeah, and it's just I do like their little bit of friendship. Like it's it's mentorship. It's like that, and he goes on, and of course, this is what who are we? And this is the bit where he explains, about kind of life. Do we need to know? And in this movie, I like that. I do. I think we said that at the start, and I do like how you don't need to know who they are. They don't need this. Oh, but you're from here. We're, as like the quickening, we're aliens or whatever. It's just like, this has happened to us. This is the way we were born, and we got a gift, and this is our gift or our curse kind of thing. It's like, it's and we're gonna get things. But then he's like, at the end there will be a prize, and is this where he says, there is the gathering? And he's like, what is it?
It is. I think this is also where he says, you got to leave Heather, right? He says,
that's
leave her. Is that later?
That's later when they're at the in the square.
Okay. Yeah. When they're in the town square.
Yeah, but we get just running, keeping up with a horse like that. So that did look like Sean Connery riding that horse, to be honest.
It did.
He was a good galloper. Things like that. So, but and then we just get they're having a lot of fun whilst training. Of course, Ramirez has always got the better the up on him every time. Yeah, and then the passage of time isn't that long. And I don't think he needs to do, but you can really see he's getting good. And then
He's
they
getting
just
better.
go into it. Let's just, you know what we can do? We can have some epic shots. Why are you being
Of
training
course,
up here?
it's
Why
Scotland.
do you look? Yeah, we just need to have some epic shots of Scotland. Like there's one I've got captured, and I'm like, they must have crapped themselves. Like if you would there's a lot you would have to go. You can't be scared of heights to do what they asked you to do. So fair play to them. But yeah, they're of course we've said it about the running, like feel the stag, and he's like, yeah.
I feel it. I feel it.
Feel the heart, and then the heart like that, because we can be one with everything. So yeah, the stag's pumping, he's pumping, and he's boom. So you go, yeah, running, yeah, very Rocky 3 moment, yeah. But then again, we just get them the music and epic music in the background, and then just the pan of like high up in the rocks in the things, like even that, like I don't like. I'm guessing they were like, we're going to be here. Just go up there. Make sure you don't fall.
Just we'll wave at you from down here.
Yeah, because guessing there wasn't health and safety too much in the night, like 86. I'm guessing now only Tom Cruise would be like, don't worry about it. I'll get a parachute and jump off it if I'm going to get off. But yeah.
Or there were wires. You just can't see them in this shot. Like we see them in.
Yeah, you do see them eventually, though.
Yeah, we do very clearly.
But yes, so they get to. I guess it's like a fete, isn't it? Really, like a gathering of the nearby village, like things. And this is where this all happening, and this is where Ramirez talks about more, but also talks about you've got to leave Heather, and he explains, in my time, he's 2,000 years born, wasn't he? He was born in but he's like works out 2,000 years, doesn't it? He's only had 3 wives, and the last wife was in the 2nd century, I think it would be.
AD, he says 2nd century AD. It's like, wow.
And it's from Japan. Like, I don't want to butcher the princess, and this is the sword, and you understand then the relevance to the sword, to why Barbara, is it Barbara?
Brenda
is so intrigued with it. It's like that because it was gifted by an emperor of the area. And there's only one of a kind. So that then, because now we just need that link. But of course, we get that back, and then I don't know where they shot to. Like Connor is gone for some reason.
Yeah, where? Okay, I was wondering. Like, I always wonder. Like, what did I miss? Where is he? Is he off hunting? Like, where is he when this is all going down? Can't he hear what's going on?
It's what would be, and it's quite late. It's like, why? Where did he go? Yeah, it's a bit odd, but so he again, Ramirez senses a presence. Nothing. So and then who bursts through the door? The Kurgan. So he tells Heather to hide.
Run, hide, get out. And she doesn't. She just stands there and screams. Oh my gosh, these women. She just stands there and screams. Okay.
Now, they have a big battle. Now, I would think this is what I said earlier, is them when they absorb the things. And like there was a bit with Ramirez when he's telling, if the Kurgan wins, the world is doomed, like that. So the Kurgan shouldn't win the prize. He is the strongest of us all. But if he wins the prize, mankind is doomed. So
he would use it for evil. Yeah.
So but that's what I think is like when he's starting to smash down I suppose, I don't know what you call it, not castle, which like a little.
Is it a bailey?
I don't know, it's like a keep, like it's like I don't know what it is.
Let's call it a keep. Yeah. It's not a bailey. We'll call it a keep.
Yeah, it's not keep because keeps are higher up, but whatever it is I think it's just because he's so powerful like that, even like in maybe so I kind of get, and it's going to be old, I'm guessing, like that. It looks like it's not very well made, but if they get to things, it gets pushed off. Ramirez has got a little bit of an uppance, I suppose.
He had the high ground, and then he blew it. It's like, how did you lose, Ramirez?
Yeah,
I think
hate
his
to say-
sword was too short.
Yeah, but I do like their little fight scene because they're a bit like Ramirez realizes.
Because he gets him in the. This is when he slashes his throat,
Yeah, and he
but
gets in.
not
Yeah,
deep enough.
and he gets him through the chest, and he just grabs his sword out, doesn't he? And it's like that. Oh, and it's boom. And then he gets
Bye,
the
Ramirez.
next quickening. Oh, it's so disappointing. I always get disappointed in that scene. You could have had him every time.
Could have had him if your sword was just a little bit longer, you know.
Yeah.
And you cut just a little bit more. Come on,
little bit longer. Yeah.
But then we wouldn't have a film.
No. And then of course we get Heather. He falls down. Everything drops, and he's like, "Hello, my pretty." Because there we do get the bit is like the Kurgan does ask who's the woman, and he lies and says it's he's. So and we know what's going to happen. The movie doesn't need to explain it until a bit later. You know what's happened to her. It's like that. And then of course we get back. I haven't got Rebecca in here, but we got Rebecca,
Brenda.
who's no Rebecca is the his secretary. Rachel. No. Okay, Rachel.
You're close. You're
Almost,
really close.
almost.
I'm getting R's and B's. Literally, give me a bit.
It's all right.
But
It's
yeah,
okay.
that's it. And can I speak to Nash? He's not here. And then we get a little bit with Rachel.
And I'm
Nash.
thinking the name Rachel was chosen specifically, as could be Rebecca, but traditional Jewish name. And with the World War II, scene, that's where I was, I think that was a purposeful
I
choice
picked up
for
on
her
the
name.
same thing there. Yep.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't pick up on that. No, but yeah.
But
But
Rebecca
then
would be too, both biblical Old Testament names. So
Is
Rebecca would
I didn't realize Rebecca
Yeah.
was as well. I knew
Mhm.
Rachel was a very classic Jewish name. I didn't know Rebecca was.
But yeah, so we get now another period of time, and I like these periods of time bits. But this is now, of course, where Second World War, and it's all happening. We don't need to know the location. We don't need to. It's not that.
a
And of course,
warehouse. It's probably
it's a
filmed in the
warehouse.
same warehouse or garage
Yeah.
where the rest of
It
the
just blew up,
contemporary
yeah.
scenes were filmed.
Yeah, and of course, he finds a young little girl, and of course, whilst happening, we get out. Nazi shoots him in the back as he's kind of rescuing. Looks up. You're not dead. It's a kind of magic. That's it. But yeah, so he gets these.
But also, not every shot is a ending shot. So, I don't know that I'd necessarily jump to the idea that, oh, you're not dead. It must be magic. It could have just been a non-lethal shot for that specific one.
Yeah.
Again, we'll look past it. Keep going.
There's a lot of blood, though. There is a lot of blood.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. And then, of course, they goes back and that he's going to meet up with I forgot her name again.
Brenda.
I'm looking at Brenda. My God. And that's it. Oh, so they say their goodbyes. She kind of warns him not to play games. And of course, he meets her at her apartment while she's just set up a recording device
Tape recorder.
And a 45, I think it is. I think she
Why?
says.
Why?
It's like just in
No, I
case.
think it was a 38 special. I don't know. It just feels like the kind of gun of the time. But anyway, why? She's trying to entrap him, but she's really interested in the sword anyway, and she's only half-heartedly doing her police work.
Yeah.
I don't get this. She annoys me. I don't know why, but she just really annoys me. I'd rather see more of the, battle scenes than her little pseudo detective work here. But
she's not she's not after him. She's after the sword, though,
she
isn't
wants
she?
the sword. Yeah.
That's all she cares about. He might be dangerous. He might not be. It's like, so I can risk it because I need to find this sword because I'm guessing it's her life work. This throws a spanner into it because of the, if it was made at the period of time that she thinks, it will fix. Yeah. It will throw things. But Nash isn't. He's been here before in a room, tape recorder, and a woman holding a pistol. I'm guessing.
Yep,
revolver.
he knows. He knows what's going. He goes right for it, and
hello, so nice view you've got, like that. Go close to the mic as we got outside. That she's under
John
surveillance,
Polito.
so she doesn't. Yeah, so she doesn't know that she is actually under surveillance, really, or they're following him to the place. But I was guessing like that. But yeah, so he easily come back, but he's got a present. Well, he's got two presents: a very old brandy from the 18th century, and a book.
The copy of her book, so he knows who she really is.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah. So he plays that hand, and she's just there, and then she goes, "I just need to find, the sword," and then he's like, "What?" Yeah. So yeah, it's not about him; it's about the sword. So he kind of realizes that, and then of course we go back to Scotland again, where we see the ruins of what the Kurgan left behind, and Heather and Connor have built a little hut, I suppose, like that, or something out of what used to be there before, to the side. And there again we get happiness
Happy
a
days.
little bit, and until Heather, and we get gets the little sheep.
Yeah, it's what happens when you're immortal.
And things like that. So everybody's happy.
Getting older.
Yeah, and then she turns up with a little lamb, but she's old, and of course not. So we get a good idea of passage of time. It's just that she's old, and I don't know why this scenes always get me. I think it's the music. That is a very great "If You Want to Live Forever" by Queen. Just like and how they timed it with all the framing of the scenes. I think it was very clever to just get you in that moment, and he's of course they're talking about she always wanted to give him a kid, and and then she's like, "Don't look at me, I want you to remember me, but where are we?" So she's
it's that curse, and that it gets me too, because like I said earlier, Jay, I think we also talked about this when we talked about Lord of the Rings, or some other conversation about the immortals, and it's the curse of, like, it's Aragorn and what's her name, and it's Doctor Who, that you're going to be attached to people, and then you're going to outlive them by so long that you're going to watch them grow old and die, and how sad that is. And in this case, he didn't get to make that choice. In Lord of the Rings, there's an element of a choice there, but it is very sad. It does get you. It's true love. You're a softie. You're an old softie. That's why it gets you. It's not just the music, it's the story. You're going to continue to live on and on and on. And you asked the question in the poll, would you want to live forever? And so far in the poll, most of us don't.
38% yes at the moment.
I think
62.
That's always been one of the interesting things about the kind of concept of immortality and the curse of immortality when it comes to film or stories or whatever it may be, is, as mortal humans, we all think, it would be cool to be invulnerable or live forever, or have Wolverine or Superman power, whatever it might be, whatever power it may be to live, invulnerable and immortal forever. But then the harsh reality of outliving everybody you know and love does, become the kind of anti take to, how cool it would be to live forever. Because it would be cool to say you lived from the Middle Ages to now, in just all the things you've seen, but also all the sorrow that would come with that would be nearly unbearable. So it's conceptually always very interesting.
Even Abe, even a little tear. Even Abe has a little tear.
He probably stubbed his toe. No, but he does it. I think it is a good, like, because we've seen, like, he's like kicks out of the clan, has the things like set up a new home, and it's Ramirez has told him, I don't like, he doesn't do it in a way as well to say you can't have a love. He's like, I don't want you to feel what I felt, and I think that's what it is. It's like that. It happened to me, and until my third wife, until I realized I just can't go through this again. So
yeah, it's like this is more of advice than it is a rule.
Yeah.
Like the
It's
not
like
able to
caution.
have kids, that's a rule with what comes with being one of these people. This is more just friendly advice. Like, hey man, I wouldn't go down that road if I were you. I've been down there 2-3 times and it's terrible.
Cautionary tale, isn't it? Look,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
gonna,
it is.
It's gonna rip you apart.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Hi,
So
Max.
Yeah, I've got the little one with me here, so you may hear
Yeah,
a few noises in the
It's
background.
real.
But yeah, so he goes off, buries her to the sound of a queen in the background, and he buries her to the sword of McLeod, and we can just see he walks off with Ramirez's sword. So now we know why he doesn't have the McLeod sword. So and that's it. So he's used that as the grave site, and that's it. So mark him with that, and then he burns he's shack, I'm guessing, down, and that's it. And then of course we go back to modern day New York, but we see somebody else, so another, and this time they're friends. Hey, what's
You're
his
not
name?
sure at first. For the first
No,
time
no,
you
no.
watch, you're like, okay, what's gonna come up here? But this is
And hit fast.
Castigair. His name is Castigair.
And what we're gonna do? Let's have a party. No, because I remember the last time we had a party. It was when, Sandy?
1783.
Yeah. So
Big
we
year.
go on the play as a Boston Common, I think it was on this one.
Boston Common. Jay, you know where
Boston
Boston Common is.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like
it
your
foggy?
Central Park.
Yeah,
Okay.
essentially. Nowhere near as big or as busy, but definitely for relative to Boston, yeah.
Yeah. So they're having a duel because he called his wife a warthog, is it?
A warthog is great. Yeah.
And I love it. Like, he's so drunk. He's like, I've gone blind. And he's like, with his, and he gets up. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call it. He's like, and he stabs him. You missed him. You've missed him. And he's like, you need a bigger sword. Get him, shoot him. And he just apologizes and walks off drunk. And then he turns his attention to his, I'm guessing, servant boy.
His second. They're called seconds.
Second. Yeah. And he shoots him in the back. But I just find it, a little bit of fun, a bit of humor of like, now you know that them two used to have a little bit of fun, and that's it. But I like that again. It's just showing that they don't all just meet up to kill each other. They've also until the end they can all be
until we need to be enemies, we can be friends.
Yeah, that's it. So we get
this gentleman, the actor, and it's Hugh, and I think you pronounce it Quarshi or Quash, Quarshi. He's also one of those ones who's in a ton of British television shows. So I don't know, James, if you recognized him, but he's been in like
I don't know his name, but it's one of those faces like he's always around, and
he's in everything as well. Like he was in your standard The Bill, Casualty, all those kinds of like what do you call them? Like not sitcom. I want to say sitcoms, the television shows. But I also think, and I'm digging now, so excuse me if you're hearing paper rattling, I think I've seen him on the stage now that I'm like really looking at him, because I just looked him up in IMDb and there are a lot of Shakespeare credits. So he's definitely a Shakespearean actor. I'm guessing I've seen him on stage in London because his name is so familiar and his face is really familiar too.
Yeah, he's a very period drama person as well, so it would make sense. And you found him. Dun, dun, dun. But I think this is fun. It's just a funny scene that, if you did come across this, you'd be like, and I like it's like he's getting like put through, let's call it, and he's just so drunk he doesn't realize like that, and he's like that, and it's like, ugh. But I did like this one because every time he actually gets hurt, and we've not said this much, but when they do get hurt, they're feeling the pain.
They feel the pain.
Exactly,
it's not fun.
We would actually get, but they just they heal near enough instantly. So it's
It's kind of like Deadpool, where he feels everything and it's never enjoyable. But yeah, you can't really take him out. Wolverine, I guess, actually same thing. So,
but yeah, Sandy found him.
No, it wasn't him. It was Don Warrington. I was thinking I saw him in Glengarry Glen Ross when I saw that in London, but it's a actor called Don Warrington. But he's got a lot of Shakespeare credits. He's played Othello. He's played Titus Andronicus. So we'll have to look for him in future and see where he is. He was also in The Phantom Menace. He played a small part in Star Wars films. So yeah, just the last name was really familiar. Quarshie.
Yeah. So about the Kurgan in his nice little hotel. I like how he gets like he's a little bit back and forth with the
Roach Motel.
manager.
I mean, really is.
They're like that. Don't talk to me. Like that. But yeah, it's great. But of course, we get back to nighttime New York, and a driver is, I don't know why he's in the back street. So I think he's looking for a lady of the night, things like that, because he's in that area.
I wasn't sure because as this guy's driving, he says something like, "Oh, we got a real one" or something this time.
Yeah,
it's like I wasn't sure if this was a play on. And forgive me, I might have the name. Oh, sorry, hold on. Little one just lost his binky here.
No, get that binky.
Oh my god! Emergency.
So we have a thing called, and I don't know if they're even still. I saw one maybe 10, 15 years ago. It was the Guardian Angels.
Guardian
Angels.
Angels
Thing here in America. I don't know if you guys had a similar thing. It was these guys who kind of just like,
yeah.
You know what? I'm going to misspeak on entirely what they are. I've always assumed they were just these guys who kind of took it upon themselves to go through and make sure things were okay around places.
They're organized. They're like citizens on patrol.
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't want to speak too much on them because I don't know enough about them. It's just something that I knew of that started to kind of go away.
Well, when he's in the hospital,
so I wasn't sure if that's what this guy was, like supposed to be a kind of take on the Guardian Angels. But as far as I know, they weren't walking around with weaponry like this. No. So I'm not sure if it was
because
overdone version of it.
One of the officers, doesn't he, when he gets into the hospital, says, "Oh, I spoke to his old commanding officer. He was in Vietnam, but now he's a freedom fighter."
Okay, so it seems like it was something an idea they were trying to play with, but maybe make a little bit more extreme than the Guardian Angels were. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I thought he was. I just wasn't totally sure.
Some PTSD there and some other things going on.
Which makes sense with how they kind of react to him telling the full story of what happened and all that, because they kind of look at him like this guy might be a little crazy. So
but he goes in after he gets these decapitated, and of course he just unloads his weapon onto it. I was trying to see what it is. It's like an Uzi, isn't it? Kind of
something like that. Yeah, definitely sub of some sort, I think.
Yeah, and then he goes to scatter out, and he's gone. Now we got people coming around, and he just the power like that, just like through the midriff, and I'm gonna lift you up like a barbecue bit of meat.
Kebab.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's just like that, and he just like, look at that, look what I've got, and I like how he then tosses them aside. It's great.
I will say though, I felt like the toss to the side, and maybe this is me being too analytical, but just thinking of the logic of that kind of motion.
Oh,
sorry, 1 second here. I'm pretty sure this guy would be way more damaged than he seemed to be in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like well, at least the idea of how that sword would slide out as it's flinging you, I'm I don't even know that you'd be alive.
Yeah, that would go in half because you think these swords that decapitate somebody would be super sharp.
But then again, he did put his sword together like Lego, so I don't know. Maybe it wasn't sturdy enough to do that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but now we got an audience to witness the quickening, really.
Yeah, the glowing, hovering body that they see.
Yeah, and everything smashes. He gets his little juice, and then of course we get a little old couple turns up, and he's gonna go for a ride. Hey, mama.
Why did he toss her out of the car? Oh my gosh, why did he leave her in there? But oh well.
I also didn't get why he didn't just take the car, the guy who he just ended, or not ended, but sent to the hospital. Like, just take that car. It's perfectly good to steal.
I do like when he goes off, you probably thinks is the guy who he kicks out the husband. He shouts out, my car,
You've
not
got
my
my
wife.
car.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
give me my
Not
car.
the
Wife.
person who's in it.
You've got my car.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, he goes for a little bit of a joyride. It's not the funniest one, the one later, but yeah, he's going for a little bit of a little bit of a joyride with mummy attached to near enough, well, hanging out the hood really on this one. I think it's funny, but yeah, they go for him. He survives. Yeah, again, how he would, but yeah, he's they interview him. I need to kind of, is this the guy? They show Nash. That's not him, and they're like, we could have got
Yeah, they were
him.
disappointed.
Yeah, and then of course he's like telling a little bit about it, but he's like, "There's one more thing I need to say," and then it goes, you don't hear it. You just, they're like, okay, so he's actually telling about the quickening, and they're like,
The hovering, glowing body. Yeah.
yeah, he's a bit of a nutter, so it was like that. But then of course we go back to oh my god, I forgot again. B.
Brenda.
We'll call it B. Brenda, and she's going to a National Archives to
Okay,
find.
I'm not. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
overlook her genealogical mess here, which you wouldn't be. You'd have to actually know the person and when they were born in order to get to the certificate. You can't just alphabetically find a birth certificate. So
Maybe she was just lucky.
yeah, maybe she was lucky. But yeah, I know what they're trying. You know, they're trying to get her to realize that he's not who he says he is, and that all the people who've owned, I guess he's decided just to live in New York forever, because the people who've owned the property before him have all been him, but different names of people who have predeceased him. So yeah, and so they're just shortcutting her putting all that together. So I guess I have to forgive just a little bit, but as a historian and genealogist myself, if it were only that easy to find these old birth certificates, to find them alphabetically. Oh, no.
It's not even that easy nowadays with all the technology and databases we have. Never mind
classes on how to find these. I teach classes on this. So yeah, it's not that easy.
No. But yeah, so she hunts down the doctor that was, I'm guessing, did the delivery, and
somehow magically he's still around.
Because I'm guessing it's a very small town or something like that, and he was the only doctor at that point. And
no, the doctor's name is on the birth certificate.
Was it? Okay.
Our birth certificates have the name of the doctor on it, so that's what she saw.
Okay. Because ours do not. There you go. And he explains, she was a single mum, so that's why he remembers it, because that was unheard of back then. She's says, she died on the after the delivery, and then the little one did too, and she's like,
died
what?
Soon after.
Because so he was illegitimate for for the 5 minutes that he survived afterwards. So but then we get our next nerd with the greatest computers, especially like that, and you have to give it, we know we're in the 80s. They're doing handwriting recognition.
I was gonna say, did computers have handwriting font like this? Like I don't know, I was a little unsure of that. I didn't want to say for sure they didn't, because wasn't alive, I didn't know, but I didn't think computers could do this.
I don't think so, because it would be graphical.
Even just not like the whole connecting of taking the letters. I thought just the font alone. I'm like, weren't these green and black computers really basic and just
digital,
like not able to do any
zeros
of this?
and ones?
I don't. It's
this would have been done.
Movie magic.
This would have been done with, just literally printing on tracing paper, or printing on a gel, a film like you would use in an overhead projector, and you would just compare that way. You compare paper to paper. You wouldn't have to do it on a computer like this. Now, if it could, pretty cool, and I'm sure that's what what's done today. But he made his point. You can take each letter from all these different signatures, and it's his handwriting. So it was interesting for making the point.
So she's and he tells her, you've got a guy who's been in this, who's been living, I think since the
1750s or something.
1750s, so he's been in New York for a while, or at least the colonials areas. But yeah, then we get back to get a nice little church scene, and of course, what Heather asked is before she died, make sure you can you light a candle on my birthday? So
On my
yeah,
birthday.
yeah.
Aw.
So how many centuries later? Yeah, he goes and gives a little candle, gives a little nod. Yeah, then he goes to pray. Now we didn't mention it that Ramirez did. There is one rule that they all abide for. They can no fighting on holy ground.
Yep.
No, they cannot fight. Of course. So he's there. We see the footsteps we know it's the Kurgan, but the Kurgan's now different. He's in disguise because they, of course, after his last outage, everybody knows, kind of his face is everywhere. So he's had a little bit of shave with the worst bald cap ever.
And the safety pins in his his scar is quite punk.
You're definitely not recognizable now. That's for sure. You don't stand out at all.
No, don't draw any attention to yourself. No.
But they're having things. He tells them we're the only two left now. So we're down to the final. And he's what have you done? And he kind of goes back. But I do like this one because they're having a bit of back and forth. And of course, he's like explaining, like the Kurgan's like trying to entice him to a fight out, like, let's end it now, kind of out. But then he has to warn Nash, as we know now, that it's holy ground. You know the rules. So even Kurgan brings him up, and he gets a bit violent. Like when he finds out, of course, he mentions, and this bit is the first bit that he says, "I took Ramirez's woman after I took his head." And then he looks around. Oh, it was your woman. Ramirez lied to you. Why did you never told him? So so he gets off. So Nash. I think it's good things, and of course, he's making all everybody else in the area really uncomfortable. Like the priest comes along, like the father. Licks his hand, really disgusting. And as he goes out,
that was gross.
Andy, what was the phrase again? He says, because you said
it's better to burn out than fade away.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it. But so we get back to again.
Brenda.
Brenda.
She looks like a Brenda too. No offense to any Brendas out there whatsoever, but I do have this vision of that brown hair and bangs when I think of a Brenda, and she looks like a Brenda.
Yeah. So but she goes.
You call it fringe, we call it bangs.
But she goes back to confront Nash. Rachel is she kind of knows, because she's out him. He's either been stealing dead kids' identities, or he's been living the last 500 years or whatever it is. So but then he takes her to his little man cave of history, and she does this is where that does the kind of 360, and she's fascinated about the history element to it. When
yes,
you would be. You'd be like, oh, this is interesting.
Oh my god,
yeah. And then of course he gives him a knife, gives her a dagger, and explains, I was Connor MacLeod, the Clan MacLeod, born in such and such, whatever, 15
something,
and he thrusts the dagger into himself, really, like that. And next bit, I think most of us agree, you don't need a love story.
You don't need it right now. Nope.
And I don't buy it. And even by the end, I don't really buy this one. I think the love story should have just been with him and his Rachel. Not Rachel,
Heather.
Heather.
Yeah.
I think that's where the love story should have been. And sorry, Binky time again here.
Yeah, that's fine.
My son has just reached the age where he likes to play what we call binky games, where he has it in his mouth and wants it, but he likes to spit it out and have you put it back in. So playing a little bit of binky games on the side here with him.
That's fine.
But yes, I agree. I think the love story here was a bit forced, and
Yeah.
I think it should have just stayed with Heather.
I think it's one of those, you know, like, it's that time period in film. Oh, you need a love story. Like that's a
it's
tick
the
in the box.
formula.
Yeah, it's like that. And that needs to fix it. It's just it's just too false because you've got the love story already. It's like, oh, we need a modern one to kind of get the ending, and just like, yeah, I just didn't need it. Like, it's not horrid. It's not like one of those ones it's like rammed down your throat that you need to see it because it's there. It's a bit pointless. It's just like she's like that. I like what you just stabbed a guy, and the next thing you want to go get in the bed. It's like, yeah, is that it's like that, and like she knows now he's like an immortal and probably did decapitate somebody, and like,
and sorry, real quick, I will be right back because I think it's actually nap time for this little one. If you can hear it, so I'm going to go put him down for a nap, and I'll be right back.
Okay, excellent.
But yeah, I agree. It is not it doesn't add anything to the story at all. No. Even if we felt it were needed to set up the ending, I don't think so, because I think he's a good guy. And even if a damsel in distress was hanging from a sign over a warehouse, he wouldn't have had to sleep with her in order to care to save her. So I think this is
like even how it ends, kind of. Yeah, we're going to that, but that could have been it without this bit. It could have just yeah. It's more of a like her intrigued in him would have probably filled probably a relationship if he kind of wanted to pursue it, and that's a bit harsh, but that that's probably true. Like, you know, he's got a bit more of a miles on the clock, so you can probably understand women a little bit better. But yeah, I think it's just the only bit I would just like, I don't like it. So yeah, it's not needed, especially like they go off to the zoo the next day.
As you do,
hand in hand. But what they don't realize, and this is why I don't get this bit, because he's not like falling in love. He's not like got like head over here. If he has, he would explain that to Rachel, I would have thought. But he doesn't sense in this bit. It's the only bit until things is the Kurgans spying on them. So yeah, in the background, the Kurgans there. So yeah, it's unlucky, kind of like that.
Unlucky. He can feel. They can sense each other. They can follow each other. They know where they are. They're the only two left now. They're the only two.
Yeah. But now, so she's, of course, going back to her apartment. She's now unfortunately been followed. Well, he's waited for her to come back, so he's been following her, and she goes into her apartment. This bit annoys me. It does, because she would have been better to go run down the stairs
the other way. Don't barricade yourself in an apartment. They all do this. They all do this in every horror film. Oh, let's run into them
abandoned woods.
Yes, abandoned woods, the shed, whatever it is, instead of running as far away as possible.
Yeah. So yeah, it just it annoyed me, but yeah, it's all to get him to kidnap her, really. So he breaks in, of course, like that. But not until we need to go for a fun drive, and again with
Queen.
Queen is great, just playing like a version of New York, and it's great, and he's just like, and it's great. I think this scene it's great, because you can picture yourself if this actually kind of a madman kind of took you would she passes out, she's screaming, but he's like, no, like, and reacting to what she's reacting. It's funny and scary at the same time, because we know he's an immortal, so if they crash, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He'd be back, like, so her screaming away until the moment where they're on the bridge. He's going against the wall. She finally passes out. It's a lot of fun, and I like it because it's got a very Queen light-hearted song. Yeah, over the top of it, just a bit humorous as well. Again, Queen playing its part. But yeah, so we get to that where, of course, he gets a phone call. A voice message. Like a old style voice recording of I've got her. She's a bit of a noisy one, and she screams.
Yeah.
So yeah, he knows the battle's got to happen at one point. but the Kurgan has drawn him out to get things. So he tells Rachel, "I've got to go. You've got power of attorney," and then she realizes, either way, if you're not coming back.
The
So I like
papers
that.
are
So
in the desk. You know what to
yeah,
do. Yep.
so that's it. And then
Aw.
yeah, it's a good bit. But like Rachel's little bit, because you realize that's her dad. To be honest,
He
isn't it? Like
rescued
that.
her as a little girl, and now she's
Yeah,
older than him. Yep, and that's just gonna keep happening for the rest of his, immortality.
yeah,
She's now older, but yeah, that's her dad. Aw.
yeah,
Daily, I'm a little worried.
yeah. He's
Clancy
changed.
Brown was kinda hot in
I
this
thought I thought
movie.
you meant Candy. I thought like.
She's got a thing for Clancy Brown. Okay. Okay, Daily.
Yeah, but yeah, it's yeah. So we go and rescue in on again industrial park.
Can I tell you, do you know what this place is? Do you know what Silver Cup is?
No.
So Silver Cup was a big bakery back in the, I guess, 50s and 60s ish.
Yeah.
And then the site was kind of run down, and then movie studios moved in, and they also refreshed the sign. So the big Silver Cup neon sign is still there, but it's called Silver Cup Studios. It's it's one of the largest film studios in New York, where shows including The Sopranos is filmed. The interior shots at Silver Cup Studios.
Ah, there you go. No. But yeah, so she's like tied up at the top of the scaffolding, what to the sign, of course. But as he gets there, yep, the Kurgan's waiting, and yeah, it's a good start to the fight. This is
a lot of
great
sparks and light and dark and neon. Yeah, it is really good.
I think this is like a clever fight scene because it goes on for quite a while, but they do it in. You have your, of course, and the scaffolding section, and then of course we have then the water section.
Yep.
She's still distressed, and then of course we have the warehouse like section. So you have actually, it's really 3 different battles, and I think it's a great. I think it's like really choreographed really well. It's like that. And it's like, but this is like these scenes of like, you can tell they're like, okay, you're not going for a strike. You're going to hit the post. You're going to that. And they're pivot, I suppose, like to get like them into position for the sparks. That's why I said that. There's a lot of glow in. It's supposed to be a bit more supernatural.
The dark and light.
They're all breaking everything, going down. It's great. I think it's like, like that, like it looks like 2 lightsabers, really. Like it is like a very epic end of battle duel. It is literally. So it's all sparks are going on. And like it's kind of, these are the last 2. So the I suppose whatever powers behind it is like, it's we're getting to the end. We're getting to the end of this deal or whatever it is. And of course they fall through to the main warehouse bit. And I love this lighting. This is what the bit I said earlier about this is really clever because they're probably trained swordsmen who are doing this. We just need
probably stuntsmen. Yeah.
Yes, there's some stuntsmen to be doing it. But how they've lit it is you don't need, because these bits are like really things, but with the epic windows and that blue lighting coming through, like it's a bit wet, but I think it just makes for this end fight because it's just like, and they go in for some close-ups, of course, but I like, and like it's a struggle. The Kurgan's got really just using the brute force of it. I really adore. Yeah, I think it's just so well done because it's not because it's edited well. It's not overplayed. They're just swordsmen, but one's stronger than the other one, and the other one has learned his skill over time. And even when he's got the sword off, Kurgan's about to do it, and then kind of. I suppose they wanted to play it like she would have to have a hand. She smacks him over the back of the head with an iron bar. Okay. Yeah.
And even the little line from him, was something like, what were you waiting for? Or something. Glad to see you here, or whatever that was.
Yeah. That's it. Did we took your time or something? Yeah, that was it, I think. Yeah. But then the Kurgan looks over because the Highlander, as like
That
he
is a
calls
bad
him,
bald
is
cap. I wish you hadn't
yeah.
said that earlier. I don't
No,
think
when
I
you see it, you
realized
can't not
it.
see it. Yeah.
No, I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, they just go back into a backward kind of shot, back into like epic, blue light. Just have a good fight. Yeah. And it gets to the point where we're getting to the end, I suppose, like that. And they're just going for it. The Kurgan thinks he's got it, but then he gets sliced a couple of times that he's probably for a while not really had. And of course, I like this bit because he actually kind of salutes him, kind of like their last. This is it. We're getting
kind
to
of
the
like, yep,
yep.
This is it.
Either me or you, and of course, he goes in, gets his. What's that? They're both ready, and he does his little tongue wiggle of like meanness like that, and then of course, as he runs past, sliced. And then we get I can't really show. This is the best picture I could get of the top of the head about to get done. So he drops, and then we get like I wanted to show the epic shot of just that pan. And who wants to say it? Sandy, it was your pick.
There can be only one.
and then we get boom. Do I care about the graphics? Do I care about the CGI? Do I care about the
wires?
The wires? Do you care about the wires?
Do I care about the wires? No, I do not. Like,
I don't.
It's like you can just see it. Like it's 1986. I can live with it. I to certain bits I always found out what like, and I don't need to know. I think it intrigues me more is why they look like kind of like demon creatures, like taking something out of
demon
him,
hounds, maybe.
Yeah.
See, I stress about this ending so much because I'm trying to find because it annoys me because it doesn't fit. So I'm trying very hard to see what these creatures are. Like, are these the souls of people throughout time? Like, how does I'm still looking. I'm still struggling. I want to like this ending, but the little cartoon dragon thingies bother me. And
it's like like the
it's just so random because you don't see you see the lightning throughout the movie kind of representing the quickening, which for the record, I also don't really know exactly what the quickening is yet at this point either. And I thought I'd find out by this point, but I guess not. But you don't see these hounds or demon creatures, whatever they are, the whole time. It's just the lightning. So I couldn't understand why the all of a sudden jump to whatever these creatures are.
I get it. Always reminds me of like the bad graphics in Ghost when he gets pulled down.
Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah.
It's that kind of thing. And I thought it was until he speaks. I like it is them like because he's got the power of the one. They're rebalancing his soul, if that makes sense. I feel like they're taking it out because he's going to be mortal now if he chooses to be. Kind of in a way.
Oh, so is that part of being the last one left?
The
that
prize,
you can choose to be. That's part of the prize. I didn't even catch that. Did they explain that? Did I just miss it? Or?
Yeah, it's at the end.
What did they say? Because I know he has a little speech at the end there. Okay, I just missed it.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
Yeah. So he gets. Yeah, he wins the prize, and then he goes back to. This is where you get the voiceover kind of bit where he explains. What the kind of the prize is, that he understands everything. He understands like he can bring the world back together through peace, and it only if he chooses to be mortal. So he can actually help people understand from his knowledge that because he understands everything. So he has like the power of knowledge. I'm guessing that's the prize.
The power of knowledge and insight, like he can connect all humans. So if you know what your enemy is truly thinking, then hopefully, and this is also a film of hope, right? Hopefully, two enemies drawing swords on a battlefield, both of them are scared. Both of them may only want what's best for their people. If we just understood each other, then that would probably eliminate most war because most combatants are not just doing it for the evil. They're all doing it because they believe that their cause is just. And if we just understood each other, maybe that would solve the world's problems. I think that's very hopeful. I like that message. I love that message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course we get a little bit of a back and forth of again Sean Connery, Ramirez telling him like it's like a memory of like his past. Yeah, but it just ends where it started, back in the Highlands.
But also look how he's dressed. I mean, even prior to this, even though he's living in the 1980s, he's still, dressed in a suit. He looks like a 1980s guy. He's mortal now because he's dressed in a polo shirt now, khakis,
all
polo
white.
shirt, khakis. Yep.
So who wants to go now? Before we go, I'm going to end the poll, but guys, I've got to ask you because that's an important question. What have you picked?
I say no, and that's because I learned this lesson ages ago in school when we had to read the book Tuck Everlasting. And if you've read that book, it's a similar concept of like essentially this family finds like this fountain of youth, type of thing. And they've been alive forever, meets a girl who's mortal and all that. And it kind of teaches you the concept of the curse of immortality. So ever since then, when I was a kid, I read that book. I've totally fully understood the curse of immortality and how terrible that must be. So my answer is no. I would not want to live forever. As cool as it seems when it comes to certain thoughts and certain things, you could it'd be cool to live from multiple, centuries of history and just see how, humans progress. That side of it's cool. But every time you start thinking of just the morbid side and depressing side of just how much you would lose, or much like Sean Connery's character, how much you would eventually have to callous yourself and stop even just connecting with humans to avoid that pain and suffering of all the loss. It really evens it out to it actually doesn't even it out. It tips the scale back towards, I would not want to live forever.
It's very much a Dorian Gray story.
I'm not
familiar. The longer you live, your humanity leaves you. Yeah.
Right.
Portray Dorian Gray. That is on the wheel, I believe, Sandy.
It is on the wheel. I put it there. Yeah.
But Sandy, then, yes or no?
Oh, definitely no. And for all the reasons Jay expressed so well, but also because, as you know, I feel like I am a time traveler, right? Historians, we have our superpower. We are time travelers.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived so much of my life in the past. I feel like if I lived forever, that just increases the distance between me and what I'm, studying and what I'm interested in. And you're right. I couldn't live to see all of my descendants die before me. That would be hard. And I think at a certain point, when you think about your goals in life, you have to have that end point in mind. And maybe you wouldn't do as much as if you thought you could live forever. Maybe you wouldn't accomplish as much. So when life is finite, it gives you milestones to hit and things that you want to accomplish at different points in time.
And appreciation too. That's it kind of just made me think of it the way you just put that. Yeah, it gives you appreciation for life and accomplishments and all those things that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah. So mine is a yes and a no. I'm going to say why. It was a no if you couldn't have an out. In this movie, I would just get a guillotine. Just in case.
I mean, technically, you have to.
You do have an out. You can do it
technically immortal. Yeah, they are going to go one way or another, whether it's this or
but
being
if you
the winner.
had if you had no, what you could do it yourself. Yeah, I think it's a no. I think like that. You've got to be able to, draw it. But if you could make that decision yourself, then I think why not? I would go there.
That's an interesting way to frame it.
Yeah. So, but otherwise, on this one, you would just see ya. but Sandy, this is not our first time watching it. I've watched this multiple times because this was nearly my pick for when action movie came on, because this is fantasy action.
Oh, okay.
It would be. This was I was like, oh, do I? So this was good. I wanted a bit more cheese, so that's why I went Demolition Man. But Jay, this was your first.
It's your first time.
Mm-hmm.
We're very interested, Jay.
We are interested.
I think maybe I should go second, because I might be the proverbial flying a punch bowl today.
Nope. This is why we want to hear it. This is what we expected. Okay. I think we expected this a little bit. So please go ahead.
I am glad to hear that, because this whole time watching it, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to be the Debbie Downer on this episode. I didn't like it. and I'm so disappointed because I've heard about this movie for ages and I know how much people love it. And it just didn't work for me. I wonder if, it's one of those things where I wish I could put myself in a different time and had watched it in the 80s and kind of see it when everybody saw it, and see if that changed my opinion on it. But there was too many issues with it. There were too many times I felt like I was forced to say, okay, I'll just overlook that. I'll overlook this. And I'll overlook that too. And it was just too many piled on one another in terms of some of that stuff that I just couldn't continue to overlook it. I think conceptually it's a really interesting idea. And I think there's a good to great story to be told in there. I just think this movie struggled to do it properly. Fundamentally, I think some of the issues were like acting, I just don't think was strong enough throughout it. The fight choreography, I thought was pretty weak. It just didn't look great. The first opening fight scene kind of really set the tone for that for me, that I just didn't like that scene at all. The fight itself was, it wasn't the greatest choreography, but that's one thing. Obviously they've come leaps and bounds from the 80s to be able to put together amazing stunt coordination and teams and choreography and all that. I'm not trying to compare the fight choreography in this to a John Wick movie or anything like that by any means. But so, I mean, I can look past just the kind of a little bit of weak fight choreography, but it was things in that opening scene that like, it was more editing stuff that didn't make sense. Like there was one portion, for example, where they're fighting and it's whatever, but then the other guy's like kicks the sword away under a car, which is fine. But then like he just starts randomly doing backflips while Connor is looking. Okay, you guys did touch that? Yeah. So he just
love that bit. I love that bit.
Doing these like endless backflips that I'm like, what the hell? Why is he doing these? But okay, wants to put distance between himself and Connor. Sure, I can buy that. But then this is where the editing in that scene becomes an issue, because then it clips to him running, regular running. And then you see Connor again. It goes back as he's reaching for the sword under the car. And then back to the other guy, and he's doing backflips again. I'm like, I don't understand why he's going from backflips to sprints to backflips. And then he hears Connor reaching for the sword, and that gets his attention. Like, oh, okay, he's going for that sword again. And he acts like he doesn't know where he just kicked the sword. Like he saw himself kick the sword under that car. Now he's acting like he lost his car in the parking lot and he has no idea where it is. It just, that scene was, I'm like, it was just a rough action scene. And I thought they got better than that in terms of like the understanding the logistics of the two people fighting. I don't think they had as many of that issues, and they definitely cut out the backflip issue. But it still just felt like things were edited poorly, like between going from the past and the present, and it was just kind of all over the place. So the editing wasn't great throughout it. I didn't like the action scenes. I can totally look past the lightning not looking great. Like those effects, whatever. It's the 80s. They had the technology they had. No big deal. So that I can look past, but it was more like the fundamental stuff that was within their control, like editing and choreography, that just kind of was like, I can't look past that many times. Like I said, the acting, not great. I didn't think the main actor, I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything else he's ever been in. I wasn't familiar with him. I just didn't think he was very good, but it wasn't just him. I didn't think Barbara had much too, but like a lot of them, even Sean Connery kind of felt a little bit like this might be a paycheck role. Like, I don't know that he did. He wasn't awful or anything, but it just didn't feel like, oh, this is a tour de force from Sean Connery in this, segment that he's in. It just felt like, yeah, this is a role. I'm going to take it. So, Scottish, why not? I want to be in this one. The best thing I can say is the music. The music was phenomenal. I love Queen. I think they're a phenomenal band. Freddie Mercury, I think, is one of the greatest, if not the greatest male vocalist of all time. So loved the music, thought that was great. I thought they did some really interesting camera work for that time. Like the opening scene with the wrestling match, how they panned through the whole stadium and all that. Like that's something that today you would do with a drone and not even think twice of. And then it hit me. I'm like, wow, how did they pull this off back then? That is a really fancy camera work. And some other stuff too, I thought was nice with the camera. Great scenery, things like that. But yeah, and the other part of the writing too that kind of got to me was a little bit of like, I needed to know more about this. And I know we always kind of talk about like that balance between needing to know more and fleshing things out a little bit more, and also letting the mind do some of its kind of filling in, because the mind can sometimes be more, creative than even the best writers. But for me, this was like, I needed to know a little bit more about why these people are chosen for this, why exactly it's also tied to a tournament of life or death for all of them, what the prize is, who told them there was a, like, it just, how do they know there was a prize? Did the first person who, like, I don't know, it didn't make sense to me that not only do they all know they were immortal, they find out, and like obviously in this case, in Connor's case, was it Ramirez? Was that his name?
Mm-hmm. Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez. So obviously Sean Connery's character Ramirez fills him in that it is kind of a big tournament and there is a prize, but like, who was the initial person to find this out and not just realize that they were immortal? Like, how did they figure out there was this thing calling? There just wasn't enough fleshing out the idea of what these immortals were, why they were, what the quickening is. I didn't need it like totally spelled out for me. I just needed more dot connecting, a little bit more dot connecting to understand what it was. So all that complaining aside, I unfortunately do have to give it a low score this week. I give it like, so my score is going to be pretty straightforward, but my recommendation will be a little bit different. So score, I give it about a 4. Unfortunately, it didn't click with me, and I wanted.
It's okay, Jay. It's okay.
Well, it's more so I'm just disappointed because I've heard people love this movie for so long, and I really want. When it came up on the wheel, my reaction was actually really excited. Oh, I'm going to finally get to watch this. This one that people have talked about forever, and Henry Cavill might be doing a reboot and all that. And like, so I really was excited, and I wanted to like it. I just couldn't get myself there with this one, and so I gave it about a 4. Now, when it comes to recommendation, it's a little bit of a different answer for me this week. So if you were to ask me based purely off my enjoyment of it, would I recommend it? I would unfortunately have to say no. But I am also well aware of the fact that I have a minority opinion on this movie. I know that people love it, and I know across the board, people really like enjoy it, from nostalgia to just general, pleasure watching it and enjoyment of the film itself. So I would say it's a recommend to watch for yourself and make an opinion, because it is kind of a classic piece of pop culture in many regards. And like I said, I know my take on it is definitely the minority take. So I would never tell somebody, don't watch it, it's crap. Especially, I mean, sometimes I will if I know it's truly crap. But this is a movie where I just think it didn't hit with me. So I don't want to say I wouldn't recommend it. If you gave me the hard answer or the hard question of yes or no, would you recommend it based off your enjoyment? I have to say no, but my real answer is I would still recommend that you watch it for yourself and you make up your mind, because it just might be something that didn't hit with me that obviously hits with a lot of other people.
That's quite fair, Jay. Very fair.
Fair.
Oh, and I will actually also add, if I can, this is one where, and you guys may totally disagree with me on this because you do enjoy, I imagine that you both do enjoy this movie. This is one where we're potentially getting one of those 30, 40-year-old reboots that I would actually be really interested in. One, mostly because of Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing where I'm like, automatically anything Henry Cavill sign me up. But two, like I said, I think there's a really, really good idea and good concept in there. I think it just needs to be maybe executed a bit better. Now, do we think modern day Hollywood is the right Hollywood to do that? Probably not. But, there have been some decent attempts at stuff like that. So I would like to see them try it, just because, again, I do think conceptually it's really interesting. So I would be on board, and this got me more on board to watch that Henry Cavill one if it ever gets made, if it's not in development hell or wherever the hell it might be right now. But so that was my little caveat to throw at the end too, is it did get me interested enough in the concept to say that I would really look forward to a reboot if it's a Henry Cavill reboot. If it's not, I'd have a little less faith, just because I understand Henry Cavill to be very hands-on as much as he can be before directors and producers get aggravated with him.
And respectful of the lore.
Exactly.
He's very respectful of the lore.
Right. And that's why I'm more like, okay, I would definitely want to see it. If you just kind of like, if they remove him off the project because he's trying to be too strict or too respectful of the lore, which is a crazy concept that they would remove somebody from a project because of that reason. But if that is the case and they just, plug in some other Hollywood actor who's just going to go along with whatever version of it they want to cook up, I'd be less interested. But, with him involved, if it happens, I would be interested in checking out a reboot.
Very fair.
Fair enough.
Not James, what say you?
Jay's completely wrong.
I had a feeling I'd be the Debbie Downer this week. I had a feeling about it.
My girlfriend called that as well. She went, I don't think Jay's gonna like this, and I was like, really, why? And it was to your points, really, to me. My points are just literally you, but literally reverse it and switch it out and make it positive. I adore this movie. I must say, I adore it. I love the concept of what you don't like is I love the concept you don't know who they are. Things like I think Sandy, we've got somebody might like The Quickening because that tries to explain what the movie is. That's the Highlander 2 called The Quickening.
But
I
it goes
adore
off the rails. But anyway,
but I adore it. Like I like that kind of those TV shows, movies where you have like you go back to the past, but they don't, and it gives a bit of there's modern and the past. I really like that. I think the concept of the Highlander or these entities, they're just there, they're just getting drawn in and they don't really know why, and it's all about whoever gets the prize. We'll kind of find out why that things they don't understand why they've been born that way, but there's a prize. I like that it doesn't give you anything. I like that, like what Sean Connery's Ramirez says. I play on it. When I was younger and I watched this, I probably look at it like a bit more eagle-eyed now, and I loved it. Now I can say like Christopher Lambert, he's not a very good actor. I think the only movie I've seen him probably else in, except for the Highlander TV show, is Fortress, and he's awful in that. If I've seen him in anything else, he's been so blasé. Sean Connery is blatantly there for, we got a film in Scotland. Do you want to be part of it? How much am I going to get paid? That is it, because him not to even bother. He's an Egyptian around the world. I'm not novel. If you're gonna lose your accent, at least have just a bland accent, like you've been to Japan.
That was
2,000 years
to claim to be Egyptian by birth and most recently Spanish, and just have this strong Scottish accent. Was like, what? Why didn't you guys just say he was Scottish instead of Spanish? It would have at least fit. Like, he developed the accent over the last 100 years.
In the Spanish court for probably the last 60 years or whatever.
That was a wild choice.
So okay, I can take that. I love.
And he was married to a Japanese princess. Don't forget that.
That's right. That's right. And just never mentioned Scotland, but man, did you have that accent?
And that was it. I don't know why they could it doesn't matter where he's from. He could have been from another part of Scotland. It's not like it's tiny and everybody knows each other.
Could have been from there originally and traveled the world and just anything to.
Well, he could have been Highlanders from the Highlands. He could have been the Lowlands of Scotland. It's just explain something. And if I can ignore that. I think the training element, I love it. I just really enjoy this movie. It's one of those movies. If you had to say guilty pleasure, it's one of my guilty pleasures that I like to put on.
And I could understand that.
Yeah, and I do like to put on. It would be watched probably 2-3 times a year for me easily. If it comes on, I'm watching it. If it's on TV, I switch over. It's one I stop on, I will watch it to the end. I really do. I love as we all said, that room, I love it. I love it every time that scene comes on, and it's every time he just sits down with his brandy. I love that scene. I'm just like, oh, what's there? Because there's he's just like a jack-in-a-box of history just in that one room. And I don't like the bits about I don't need to care where he got it from. Like, why would he know to keep that kind of thing for later on to be, I don't need to know it. I don't need to, because it's all about that end thing with the Kurgan as to become the one. And the Kurgan, what a great villain. I think that villain
that's the best performance in the film.
See, I actually didn't like his performance. I didn't like it, and I felt like he was just bad guy to be bad guy. Not that I needed a ton of depth, and I definitely didn't need the over sympathizing for a villain that you see so often nowadays, but he just felt a little bit bland to me. And I love Clancy Brown. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I think he's out of this world when it comes to voice acting. God, he's done so much, and I know a lot of the time it's his own voice, but the things he voice acts, it always fits. So I think he's fantastic. I didn't actually really like him too much.
I think he's one of the all-time villains. I would say. Just
no kidding.
Yeah, he's menacing. He's up there. He's just I'm here to win the game, and and I've got the fighting skills to win it. And he's just like, my goal isn't he's probably be frank. He's probably raped and pillages like towns by himself, like that, just because he's been bored, like that, until he finds
so bored and nobody can stop him. So.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, and I think he's one of that. But his goal is, my hunt is always the next one, because they say he's from Russia, but he can't be Russia. But
is that what? Oh, I didn't.
But they say he's from.
They say Russia. There was no Russia back then. But anyway.
I didn't catch that.
We'll overlook that.
He just felt a little too evil for the sake of being evil for me. I just needed a little something there to make me understand his character.
Oh,
a bit more.
I like it, because even when you went off to put the kid down, when he's on the car ride and he's just gone like that.
Oh yeah, playing chicken and with every car and oncoming traffic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I just think it's like, you would do. You just be like losing it. You've been living whatever.
Yeah, like you need some kind of thrill. There's no.
So it's just it's just playing the evil one. So I like his character. The Brenda. Yes. She's the only character I like. She's not a very good actress. I think her writing bad. I get why they could have had a researcher and then tell the officers, look, this can't happen, that. But then giving the love story, it's pointless.
You almost could have just used the guy that she. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's a great point, because you almost could have just used the guy that figures out the names and the birth certificate stuff. You almost could have just used him to kind of be that, plot moving person for the cops and the legal side of it,
like elsewhere.
I don't know that you needed to squeeze her in for the love story.
Yeah, because the officers just disappear. Really, they just don't know, and it's all just her to get this samurai. And it annoys me every time. Like when
why
I
do they
got
call a sword a samurai? I didn't get that.
She wouldn't do. She's an expert,
right?
It's a samurai, and I'm guessing it's just because. What are you going to call it? The real name? Or people have heard of samurais, so they call it a samurai sword.
Yeah, I guess.
Like that. That is, it's a bit on the things. Yeah, so her one, that's the only bit I would knock down points. Queen.
Oh,
we'll talk about that afterwards. I think we need to. It's brilliant. I think they nailed it. It was that time period where you did get bands. Oh, but do you want us to do the full soundtrack? Yeah, I did the full soundtrack. And I hate movies like where they do historical bits and then they have modern music. But this, because I think it's a backflash, I suppose most of the time, it actually does well, that. I hate it when they have like modern pop music or whatever.
A Knight's Tale is a huge offender of that. And I actually enjoyed that movie. But man, the music in that movie does not match. It drives me nuts whenever I watch it.
It's a silly movie.
Yeah, it's a silly, fun little movie, and I enjoy it for what it is. But no, 100%, the music does not match in that movie.
No. So for that, you always have to take that into account. Like, I'm just a solid 8. I'm bang on 8, just because it is one of my guilty pleasures. I probably adore it more. I can live with the special effects being awful. I can the wires every time. I get it. I get the acting. I like that. Let's say this is why, Jay, you probably, I like the concept. I like the concept of the movie, and I think we've all said, I like that to be done better. But I just adore this movie as it is, because I think how I enjoy this movie is going, that fantasy of it, and I think that's why it's a good fantasy action movie. So for me, a solid 8. I really enjoy it. I can go back to this and just I can sit down every time. Know the backflips are getting, and I like them. Not silly little bits. The silliness. That wouldn't be right to do. I really enjoy it. So for me, top picks, Andy. It was nearly, I was going to nick it from you, but I didn't. But thank you for picking Highlander. That's all I think.
Awesome. Well, I could pick at it forever as well. I could pick at the kind of janky special effects, the subpar acting. The accents are really weird, and I think part of the issue I have with both the accents and the acting probably stems from the fact that there is so little dialogue in this film. There is not a lot of talking, so when people do speak and the accent is really out of place, it's jarring. Particularly Christopher Lambert's accent changes throughout this film, and it's almost as bad as the Kevin Costner Robin Hood situation, but he talks way too much in that film. For me, this film is sentimental. It is one of the ways that I found our beloved geekdom that I cherish so much now. Being a kid and watching again the television show first, along with like Battlestar Galactica, and I mentioned V earlier today. My mom really likes sci-fi, and so there was also Star Trek and Star Trek: The Next Generation, and all of that just kind of opened up my imagination. And I think that's what this film is about. This film,
Mhm.
the story behind the story, how can I put this? It's not as important to the film because it makes you think about it outside of the film. So I think that's why, and maybe also James's point as well. You're like, you can look past all that stuff and you don't need the specific backstory. For me, my brain filled it in and I wanted to know more. And because I had watched the television show where the Adrian Paul character kind of travels to different time periods, which is also interesting to me, it just made me think. It just definitely made me think. It's the lore, it's the uniqueness of the story that I really appreciated. I just wish it had been better executed, but the story itself, for a sentimental reason, I absolutely adore. I give this film a 7. That's a high score. That's a really good score. I have to look at the film in totality, and I do have to bring down what might have been an 8 because of the accents and the acting. But otherwise, this also is a film that I'll watch whenever it's on. I have the original DVD with the ads, the old late 1990s ads on the DVD, um, and it's well worn. And I do look forward with hope to the Henry Cavill version. I think if they do it right, this could be big because the
I
lore is so interesting and
Mhm.
unique. And if they do it right, it'll be a big thing. And I appreciate, absolutely appreciate your take on it, Jay. And I get it. James, I think you and I have some of that we share that sentimentality for it. But I always look forward to watching it again. And
Mhm.
we'll hope the best for any future iterations.
Oh, sorry, I will be right back.
Big
That's fine. That's
recommend
fine.
from
Go, go.
me.
Yeah, I say like it is. I think it's like because when you got to watch it, probably in the 90s, definitely I would have watched it. Probably early, I was probably allowed to watch it, but yeah, it's just so. It's just yeah, it's a good one, and like you had the quickening that's awful. I as a sequel movie, and then they did that one where Highlander 3, and I can't remember if they called it something where they had somebody that was encased a one and they didn't know he died, wasn't he? He was like
So I didn't see the third one. I
yeah,
know
it's
there's
like
a
an
third one.
East Asian barbarian. That's the thing. He's been
Oh,
hidden away, who was encased in something, and that excavation unearthed him. Then of course he comes back, and then they like it all starts kind of the end game because they didn't realize like the entity or whatever didn't realize the things. It's just a remake of this movie. It is literally except for the beginning part of it. So it's a thing. But yeah, I think we have a high hopes for. Please do it right because I think like in this you have so many could have been interesting characters, except for of course that Connor and Heather, that that love
yeah.
story going on. But if you had that, like I would have. You needed, as I was saying, you need to do a trilogy with this movie because you've got the other interesting characters they didn't hit on. Because this is quite a short movie, isn't it?
It
Really,
is.
yeah.
For as
So
much
like,
as it covers. I mean, it covers a
yeah,
lot, obviously centuries, but
yeah. So
you
yeah, if you're
certainly
gonna,
could. Yeah.
yeah. So I think I don't want to say I'm right, but I think if they broke it up into different elements, like you have the the beginning bit in New York, but then the most of the movie is the flashbacks into
Mhm.
Scotland, and then with Ramirez and that, and then it ends with Ramirez's death. Ooh, then the next movie is what's going on. I think that will intrigue
Yeah, I
people
think
to kind of
so.
watch it because that's like his mentor's gone. She's been arped, as people
I'd
like,
rather have
and then
more
I think like
time
that.
with
Yeah,
I actually have be more interested in the Rachel story than the Brenda story.
Yeah, but that is then number 2, isn't it?
Number 2, that's the second
That's
film.
the 2, and then you can have that talking about the Rachel, and then you can have he's lost Heather, that love story, couldn't have kids. Number 2 is about Rachel and him, and then that then he's the father figure of like, and then how does he, even with like from her going to school, then going to the prom, and he's still that age.
And how
like
he's
going to
dealing with
school,
her being
university,
older than him. Yeah.
And then
aging beyond
realize,
him.
and it's like that whole dynamic. Of course, then but then you've got also the threat in that whole point of, each one, somebody's out to attack, and he's, defend, and he's not defending, he's attacking as well.
Sounds like you've written the screenplay, so I think we're ready to go.
Yeah. But onto that note, we do need to talk about one thing: how the bloody soundtrack. That soundtrack, I think this is one of the ones that we're probably all going to agree. I think is it called? It's
A Kind of Magic.
Magic. It's kind of magic.
Technically not the soundtrack, though. That's what's so interesting, because
some of it wasn't.
Queen had a song, then they were asked to write music for the film, but then the film didn't have a soundtrack, and then all the songs just kind of filled in on the album A Kind of Magic, which is, it's called the unofficial soundtrack to the film Highlander. And let's think about this.
Sorry, Sandy, can I just quickly break in here now? England won. They beat Germany 3-2 to win the under 21s European Cup final.
Woohoo! So, congratulations.
Back-to-back wins. There we go. There we go. For the English, for the Germans.
Congratulations.
There we go. Sorry, carry on.
Let's also think about the time. So 1985 was Live Aid, and Queen's magnificent, unbelievable performance at Live Aid. I was too young to realize what I was watching. I was watching it. I know I was, because my mom and dad were sitting down watching it. I was with them, but I was too young to know what was happening. So I actually have the entire Live Aid concert on DVD so that I can appreciate it now for what it was. This was immediately after that. So Queen is in demand. And we'll write a couple of songs. Sure. So they wrote these songs. They wrote A Kind of Magic, Who Wants to Live Forever, obviously Princes of the Universe. And just, I hate to keep using the word epic, but just the combination of the words, the story, and the voice. Just amazing. And yes, when you watch this film on television, pause and turn up the volume. Pause, rewind, turn up the volume, especially for that very, very opening scene.
But that's to say, we weren't here. Jay wasn't here for that. Did you, when you got this, we're going to bring it up again, this bit, and you have Sean Connery, and then that epic.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm going to get a good, I'm in it here. That's it. So, shame it just felt a bit flat for you, but like that kind of calm,
that was a great, just the music, the song too. Was it the Princes of Forever? What was
Princes of the Universe?
Oh God, it was just a really great, great song to open this movie with.
Yeah, I guess you like,
and just great throughout the whole movie. I mean, again, I love Queen, so I'm always going to like their music, but it just felt like it fit so well.
It felt like a story within itself, because it worked. Because you had also, of course, you had a little bit classical, a little bit of harps, like background music, the pipes. But having Queen in the end, like there's no other, that literally you just hear Freddie. I think that kind of worked. I think that kind of like it made it fit better, just having that one band. But like some of it is like, if you've never listened to Queen and saw this, you'd be like, oh, that's bloody good. Like some of the stuff he does, like vocally in this, like in that, like in, not just in this one, but in this this album, it's bloody great. His harmonics are like just spot on. Like some of the key changes he does, and like to have that in this movie as well, I think it just adds a little bit to it. Now gonna put on things. I'm hoping, and I guess they won't probably do it. I'm hoping if they the remake, and if it does happen, it looks like it's going to happen. Please use this soundtrack.
According to
Mm-hmm.
IMDb, that has already been settled.
Oh, good,
Ah,
good.
According to IMDb, it's the only comment besides the pre-production comment is that the music of Queen will be used in the film.
Love that.
So that's only correct. And I'll also tell you that is part of my love of the television show. And I know it's panned. I really ask folks to give the old TV show a try.
Oops, sorry.
But that song was the opening song, the theme song for the show. So for every episode, there was a short cold open with like something going on, and then it would fade to black, and then everybody stops because then you're waiting for here we are. And it was just every episode. Another reason I'd like to comment on the television show is the actor who played Duncan MacLeod, Adrian Paul, is one of the nicest humans on the face of the earth. Very underrated, underutilized. Although I think he's French or he's either French or Canadian. But he's a YouTube channel about the history of swords and swordsmanship and all kinds of things around. He did his own stunts. So, and he knows his swords. Really sweet guy. Again, his name's Adrian Paul. You can, I don't know how recently he's posted on YouTube. Years ago, he was posting really cool stuff about swords. I like his acting. I don't mind it. I don't mind the silly story. There were silly stories. Yeah, he's going through, traveling through time, and the story is different, and it kind of broke the lore a little bit. I don't care. I care about people who do care about the story, and I think the people who put the television show together really did. So definitely it's called The Highlander, the TV series, and just look it up. It's a lot of fun and uses the music of Queen. So
and so did Flash Gordon.
Out of curiosity, now I knew there was a TV show, but I'm just kind of scrolling through IMDb right now. Did either of you watch Highlander Endgame, which apparently came out in 2000?
Yeah, that's
was that the third one?
Is that okay? I didn't realize
number two. Yeah, there's the Quickening. And then there was that one. That is just a carbon copy of this one. Kind of, they just opened it up a little bit different. It was like I was saying earlier. It's just like a Eastern Oriental kind of was done barbarian trapped in. I can't remember what he was trapped in, but they dug him out. Then the prize starts again. So then you get Conor McLeod is old and he starts to grow young because the quickening. Oh no, it's like that, and then the fight starts. It's terrible.
Yeah,
that's worse than
both Chris Lambert and Adrian Paul were in that one too.
Yes,
a few recurring.
That's correct. That's what they did. They did the kind
Heather
of crossover.
Oh yes, they did. Yes, I forgot about
Heather and Rachel were both in it, and looks like even Edge from WWE. He used to be a wrestler back in the early 2000s, so he ended up in there too. Actually, he is still a wrestler now, I think, for a different company.
What rating did that get?
It was a 4.3 or something. I just saw on IMDb, so not great.
It's not good. It's one you go, oh, they just did that. It's like, we're doing a sequel, or and then you just go, that's just a carbon. You didn't have no ideas, did you? So yeah, it was like, I think what even the who was ever the screenwriter of it, they said, do like forget about the quickening, just pretend it never happened. Like, that's
interesting. I agree.
Like, it never
100%.
happened. It never happened. I think you can have that. I think you can have TV show. I must say, I'm different to Sandy. I struggle with it. There's bits of it are really, really bad. There's good episodes. Then, there are bad ones. But then, like, I like it, but don't love it like that. But then I like it like I like Xena, Prince of Warrior, Hercules.
I love Xena.
You've got really bad ones, really good ones. But like, yeah, it's that kind of when that kind of shows were all coming out, weren't they, at the time? But yeah,
I love my Xena. I do. Yeah. I'm gonna share my screen right now just for another second here. Share screen. Because I just think we need to admire the graceful aging of Mr. Adrian Paul.
Wow,
This
no
is
kidding.
him in what is this, 1988? And this is him today, 67 years old. God bless.
67.
Wow, that's him at 67?
67.
Jeez, he looks like he's 45.
I can say what moisturizer he's using. Bloody hell.
He
Is
works
he
out.
actually is he actually an immortal?
He
I don't
might be
understand this.
immortal. He might be immortal. He put out a Christmas greeting on. So I know he put out like his Christmas greeting on YouTube in December, and this was the good grief. Yeah. So yes, he could be the one. He could very well be the one, but yeah, he's just a really good guy, and we don't see enough of him for sure. And he's British. I said he might be French or Canadian. He's a British actor.
Because I know Christopher Lambert is French Canadian, isn't he?
But born in America.
Oh, is he?
So
Okay.
Christopher Lambert was born here, only lived here for like 2 months.
Okay.
And his father was not an ambassador, but worked for the French government and traveled around the world. So yeah,
there you go. So.
That's why
Oh,
he moved around so much. And that's why maybe let's give him a little grace on his weird accent, because he lived in like multiple countries throughout his developing years. So maybe we'll give him some grace on that strange accent of his. It's his own. That's his own accent.
Excellent. Okay. So Jay wasn't here last week. So now, Jay, you were here from the Highlander reveal on the wheel, of course. And Sandy went, I can't do, I would pick Lord of the Rings. And then she changed it, of course, to Highlander to give us a break. You know, like Lord of the Rings is kind of the trilogy, is things. And of course, you had a hard out. We understand that. And then what happened on the wheel, Jay? Because you saw it. Jay's there. Look, Jay's not there. But anyway, Lord of the Rings. Now, guys,
all three.
I do apologize, but I can't do next Saturday, personal reasons. So we're going to move it to Sunday. But with that, I have to work on Monday. And I'm guessing Lord of the Rings trilogy might take a while. It might take a while. So what we're going to do is we said we were going to move it to the week after, what I believe was the 12th. And we all agreed. Yep. And then somebody was a proper idiot, forgot his brother's wedding.
His own brother's wedding.
Now, Jay's not here to defend himself. So say what I'm like, idiot. So we can't do that. So we're me and Sandy will come up with a plan for the 12th. So then we haven't decided, but we're going to probably do the week after. This is great for me and Sandy because I really want to do the books again as well.
Yep. I've just finished the first. I've just finished the Fellowship. So I'm starting the Two Towers.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
So if the worst thing, so we're looking at the 19th, it will be of July. But the only good thing on that is you got time to watch the extended editions or whatever, 12 hours of them.
Extended editions, please.
Extended edition. My girlfriend, we put up things and was watching Two Towers. I went like, don't watch it now. Don't watch it now. we got time. So so we got that. So that means this week's pick is next Sunday's film. So we're doing this one. So this one is our next pick. So
yep.
Hopefully, I don't think we've got any trilogies on there. I don't think we've got anything epic because this is going to be
And we got lucky with things like Godfather. Godfather 1 came up first. Star Wars came up before Empire. So we just got lucky where we might have thought better of it. If we had thought it through, we would have said, like, maybe put Star Wars on the wheel, and then it had to be the first. It had to be the first one first. So yeah.
So
next
as always, we've got some things. I don't know. Is it going to be Sandy 3 in a row?
It can't be. It can't be.
I want this one. I just saw it. I want that.
Really quick, guys, before we spin this, I actually have to jump because somebody just decided that it is bottle time, no longer nap time.
Okay, that's fine.
So I will listen along on my phone here just so I can see what the wheel is. But as always, chat, thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you guys I
Have a
don't
good
know
one,
if it's
Jay.
next week. I think we got to plan whenever the next
Sunday.
episode
Yeah,
is.
Sunday. That's what we were just saying. We just
Okay,
outed you
perfect.
about you forgetting your brother's wedding.
Oh God!
Yeah, we gave you a
don't
hard
tell
time.
him. So that's
Anyway,
Sunday, next Sunday, right? Because
yes,
the
correct.
wedding is the 12th. Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
12, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
On
Yep.
that note, I got to run, guys. But
Bye,
pleasure as
Jay.
always.
Go.
Take
Go.
care.
Yeah. All right. Bye. All right. So I'm hoping it's going to be one of these ones for you two guys. I just saw it there. It's got to be like that foreign language. See what you pick out.
I hope
But
it's something. Yeah.
That's it. But let's
I
do
feel bad.
this.
It's been me like a lot recently.
Yeah. But then we go. You always get out there. I think I got like a few on a row, didn't we? So we're going to do this. But let's do this. So I'm going to shuffle.
Okay.
1,
Here we go.
2, 3, 4,
I'm leaning
5.
into the
Everybody's
screen.
like, oh, what's going on? Oh, that might be good. Oh, animated film. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hope Jay is watching. And here we go. Dum, 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 dum. Oh.
Oh. How does this work? How does this work? Do you know what it is, or do you need some time?
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, James hates it. Oh, I hate it. Oh my God, this is going to be interesting, though. Wow. Okay. Let me just think. Sandy talk. Oh my God.
Well,
that is
here's the
okay.
thought.
There is a call. I could call out, and I'm not going to do it because we've not done anything. I could do The Last Jedi. Now, I'm not going to do that. Is because I don't want to put myself through that pain.
Yeah.
So I'm not
think
going to
about
do
that,
it, even
okay?
though that is really, really bad. So see, Battlefield Earth is a bad movie, but do I hate it? Do I hate it? There's got to be, I have to hate it. Oh, let me think.
I know what mine is.
Oh my God.
I won't say it now, but I would be able to say it like that. But do you need to think about it?
I'm just gonna have a look at something, and then I will think about it. So let me just look. Oh my God, what do I hate?
And you have to sacrifice.
It's not. Oh my God, I could do Sound of Music and get Dan on that. I hate that bloody.
Guess what? Guess what? That has to be it. Because you've met, you kind of, we're all like cursing ourselves here a little bit, or at least being a little psychic, because you have mentioned The Sound of Music.
Oh, I hate that movie
quite frequently, and you've mentioned it and said, I hate that film quite.
But do I hate it? Is there word? I'm just gonna have a look and see like what movies do I hate worse? And like, Jay's like, oh, I love that. Abe like, don't
Abe's already like, oh,
don't make me watch that. Don't make me watch that. Okay, let me just have a look, because I always put my ratings on IMDb just for my own interest. Okay, and I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna filter.
See, I would not hate Sound of Music as much as I hate Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia.
Yeah, I can't stand ABBA, but I've never watched it, so that would be.
So you don't know if you hate it yet, so you can't do that one.
Yeah. What's a bad movie? Like, I'm gonna think. I'm just gonna have to sit back, take a breath.
It's one. Yeah, you're gonna have to think about it, and think about it this way: if you're at a mate's house and they're so excited to turn it on, and they turn something on, and you just want to run for the hills when they turn it on, what is that film? You know, that makes you want to just up and leave because you can't do it. You can't do it.
Oh my God, there's a lot of there, but the thing is, there's a couple like with like actresses or actors. I'm like, if they're in a movie, you're like, oh, that is bad. That is bad. That's the reason I hate it.
Yeah, I think Pete, I think I'm with you there, having a sister's fun. So did you have the Mamma Mia situation, Pete? See, that was my mom with Mamma Mia. And we took her to see it, and we took my sister-in-law to see it in the theater. And then I can't anymore. I can't do it. Galadorn. Gallagher and we can no longer be friends. Independence Day is one of my favorite films, and I'm looking forward to Friday because I'm going to watch it because I watch Independence Day every Independence Day. I love Independence Day. We need to chat. Like, what do you not like about Independence? It's a great film. That's a great film with great speeches.
It's just cheesy, isn't it?
It is cheesy. It's not
cheesy.
scientific. It's just great. It's just fantastic, especially
I wonder
on
if you
Independence Day.
I wonder if there's something on the wheel, our sheet that is already on there that there's so many I hate though.
Oh, you mean like something that maybe one of us put
Yeah,
on?
you picked it. I'm like, yeah.
That one of us put on, and you're like, why did
I
she
think
do that?
I think I need time on this one. I think I need time. I think what we're gonna have to do, even those things, we're gonna have to announce this on Twitter. I think this is gonna be it's gonna be a Twitter announcement because I've got a couple in my head, but I can guarantee my girlfriend will go that movie, and I'll be like, oh my god, I really hate that movie, don't I? And then things like that. So I'm a bit hot and sweaty right now, but this is what do I hate? There is a lot.
So I'll have to look at my pick. I have a feeling you'd hate some of my picks more than you would hate.
Yeah.
Hate Jay's pick. Like, you like A Christmas Story, don't you? That's a good one.
Yeah.
You didn't hate
that was mine. I put it on there, didn't I?
You might have.
I might. I think I put it on.
Oh, you did. I thought it was me. You did.
Yeah.
Amadeus, was there when we did the biography one? You didn't put that one on. Oh, you
no,
said
I forgot. I forgot about it.
Forgot. Because I love Amadeus.
I'm trying to think.
Something you hate.
Something I hate. There is a lot, but I think it's my brain.
Think about it.
No, because what I got now in my head is Sound of Music. I'm like, I do hate that. I'm gonna put my hands up.
It would be,
I'm gonna beat number time.
Mary Poppins would be in the same category as Sound of Music for me. I can't stand Mary Poppins. I know some people like it, but I don't like Mary Poppins.
Yeah, Governor.
But I know which one I'd pick. I'm not going to say the one. Okay, I'm not going to say the one I would pick because it's a slam dunk. There is no question about the movie I hate the most of all.
Yeah, because there's a lot of sci-fi's ones like disappointed, like The Last Jedi. Yeah, that's up there. Do I want to? The thing is, if I pick The Last Jedi, I wouldn't watch it, and that's the problem. Because I despise it. That's the thing, is despise it. Alien 3, I can live with Alien 3. I can live with Alien 3. I can live with that being there. Do I think it's great? No, stupidly done, but I can live with it. It's not bad. It's a bad concept of what happened before it. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be proper. Oh, you picked that, you bastard. That was, I realized. Come on, James, pick now. I just can't. I can't think of any. I don't
see anything on here that I think you would hate. Like you gave low scores to some film, like when we did 1, 2, 3, like Short Circuit, you gave a 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't see anything. I think you would hate.
No, there's like, you've got to really despise it.
You have to really despise it.
I'm trying to
think about it.
Oh no, I think there is one on the list I don't like, but I don't think I hate it. I just like, that's stupid. There is one I'm like, it would be a 3 for me on the list. I
hope it's not Tootsie. I love Tootsie. I see you gave Tootsie a 3.
Yeah. No, but 3's, you're sitting in the mid ground, aren't you?
Yeah. It's not a hate.
What did we get? We've got nothing at the moment because I've got to pick I hate it movie. It's James's hate it. I hate it. So we said that. Let me think. I'm gonna need time. Okay, I'm gonna defer. It's gonna be, please. I will put it on the community chat on YouTube, and I will also put it on Twitter. I just need time. I need time.
Yep, and I need to read it if it's a book. So just
could be a right git then, couldn't I?
Please, not War and Peace, which I hate that film too. I hate it as much as I hate the book.
That was
No,
bad.
we've already
Yeah.
reviewed Napoleon. We can't review it again. It was bad.
I
It was
don't want to watch it
horrendous.
again. I've not watched Gladiator 2. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that'll go on the list. If people don't like that.
I don't wanna watch Gladiator 2. I don't wanna
Oh,
watch Gladiator.
there's some bad animated, aren't there?
No.
Oh,
Oh, there's a lot of bad animated stuff. Yeah, there's some really bad stuff.
okay. I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Have you ever seen? Oh God, I know what it is. I think I know what I know. Have you ever? Yeah, there is a movie that I do. Yeah, I did. You wanted your money back? Yeah, I fell asleep at the movie. It was
Oh my
bad.
gosh.
Oh, that might have to be there. That's it. Okay, I've got a few in my head. I'm gonna rattle it out, and I think I'm gonna I'm gonna refer this to my girlfriend because she'll know. You go, yeah, but I know you hate this one more, and I'll be like, yes. So yeah, let me get there. Let me get there. It's gonna be bad, isn't it? It's gonna be bad. It's like that. At least it won't be Zombie Beaver because that's still funny. So that's it. Time's up. I know. Everything, everywhere. Oh, that is bad. Yeah. I didn't get the hype of that, to be honest.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, let me think about it. I'm gonna have
I saw
to.
that. I saw that in La La Land back to back, and it was horrendous. They were both horrendous.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been usually be like that because I'm gonna have to it's gonna be. Oh no, it's not. It's gonna be like something you hate. Yeah. Okay. Now things are popping in my head, and now I'm going, and then I'm counteracting things with that, going, but is that worse than that one? Do I hate that one worse than that one? Or is it just because it's like, I mean it, there are bad movies, but I mean, you've got to go, I despise it because of such and such. So that's it. And it's going to be like, the thing is going to be like, I scored a 2, like a 1 or whatever. So yeah, it's got to be there. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. So watch this space because I can't think of one right now. So yeah. Yeah, I guarantee my girlfriend's probably got a bed there, but she will be going, it's this. It's obvious. And I'll be like, yeah, it is, isn't it? It's probably going to be a musical. And I really don't want to think it more than likely might be a musical. That it might have to hit there, but I just can't think of it because I like a planet cleanse. If I watch them bad movies, you're like, wipe that from your memory. Wipe that from your memory. So yeah, it could be, yeah. But yeah, Sandy, on that note, until I announce the horrific movie that I'm going to pick for you guys to watch. And the worst thing is, if you two like it, then you know I already hate it.
That'll be a really good discussion, though. That'll be a great discussion.
You'll be like, I like it. What's he on about? That's it. Oh yeah. It's not going to be the ABBA movie because I've not watched it because I hate ABBA. Sorry, guys, if you like ABBA. Yeah, I know Abe loves ABBA. He's a proper fan.
That's fine for me.
But yeah, Sandy, you're doing any other walks?
Because today was so dreary, I did a really good one today. In a really nice little park. But it was so dreary, so I might try to head out again tomorrow morning. So if I'm streaming, it's usually around 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, I'm reading like a maniac because I now have the Two Towers and the Return of the King. I've finished the Fellowship and in preparation for our Lord of the Rings, even though it's 2 weeks from now plus, but there's a lot of reading to do. So that's what I'm doing. Cool. And what are you up to, James? You're going to play a little game? You're going to play a little game this evening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little game we like to play.
That's the thing. Yeah. So we can do that. I've been jumping in and off quite well lately because work in real life is gone a bit quiet, but Scum's back. Well, I do like that, so that's good. But I'm doing the thing. Still got my horror games. I know you don't like it. I've got one that's really freaky. You will not like. So
no, I always catch your little clips that scare the heck out of me, and I need to not watch them like I do, but I have to watch them.
Yeah, and I have
your
to be
reaction. That's what's funny.
Things like I'm like, I need to be in that health. Like I need to be healthy to make sure I don't have a heart attack on screen. I'm guessing there's one that I'm like, oh, that's jumpy as. That's going to be a good one. And but it's creepy as. So yeah, but it's like I like them because they're like an hour, 2 hour max, and then
Fast.
the game's done. You're like, oh, like, because I don't think I can take it otherwise. Oh,
that one in the mortuary, that was
paint your wagon.
That was horrendous.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, but it's a bad movie. Do I hate that movie? Remember, bad and hate. Do. So we have to go with that. But yeah, so I'll be doing that. I'll be jumping in and out. Still, I might have to do, after I think of my thing, I still need to do my top recommendations for sci-fi. So ABBA would be better than maybe it's a Madonna movie. You never know. Daryl, it could be a Madonna. There's quite a lot of bad ones out there.
Desperately Seeking Susan, or oh my God, that would be on my bad list. Evita would definitely
but bad or hate it. That's what I'm saying.
And it's a musical.
There we go.
Evita's bad. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but no, my hated movie is always going to be the same film. It's always, and unfortunately, it's. I remembered this recently. It was the film that my husband and I went on our first date to see. And it is my most hated film of ever. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, guys, you're gonna have to watch this space. At least that makes you follow me and go, has he done it? Has he released it? Because I'm guessing I will get it tomorrow. So watch this space tomorrow. Because I'm guessing I will walk out there, get some fresh air, and then I'll be like, oh, there it is. I remembered. It would be like a non-hallelujah moment, really. But anyway, I would say look forward to next week, but probably not. Well, whatever it's going to be.
I think it's going to be a fun discussion either way. It's just going to be a fun discussion.
That's why we put it on the list, because it's going to be like, but why? And he's going to be like, but why do you hate it? I was like, it's going to be one of those ones. But everybody, have a great one. I'm glad everybody, except for Jay, like Highlander, it seemed like. But everybody, that's why we're here for Film Club, aren't we, Sandy?
We'll forgive him this time.
Yeah, let him off a little bit. But have a great one. And we'll see you in the next bad Film Club, apparently. And until there, have a great rest of the weekend. It's really hot in the UK, so enjoy. Have a great one. Chat, as always, you've been amazing. And remember, do you want to live forever? Bye for now.